The Immortal Jellyfish. Imagine standing on the shore, watching the gentle rhythm of the waves lapping against the sand, while contemplating a creature that dances gracefully beneath the ocean's surface. This creature, known as Turritopsis dohrnii, has captured the fascination of scientists and philosophers alike, the immortal jellyfish. It possesses a remarkable ability. It can transform back to its juvenile form after reaching maturity, effectively erasing its biological clock. The question arises, if one can escape death in such a profound way, what does it mean to truly live? This brings us to the philosophical contemplation of immortality and its implications. The idea of living forever has seduced many minds throughout history. Thinkers like Plato and Aristotle debated the essence of life and the virtues of the soul, proposing that a well-lived life is more precious than mere existence. Are we truly meant to circumvent the natural cycle of life and death? Or does this potential for immortality strip life of its meaning, its urgency, its beauty? Curtailing our own mortality may seem enticing, yet the desire to live forever stirs another dilemma. Can existence hold significance if it stretches indefinitely? Philosophers like Immanuel Kant argued that our experiences derive value from their finitude. The limited time we have fosters meaning and encourages us to pursue a life of purpose. In contrast, Friedrich Nietzsche embraced a notion of eternal recurrence, provoking us to live as if we would eternally relive every moment. The immortal jellyfish, in its unyielding cycle of rebirth, stands in stark contrast to these perspectives. Modern life presents us with paradoxes reminiscent of the jellyfish's journey. We invest in technology to extend our years, from the latest health supplements to the groundbreaking possibilities of genetic engineering. Yet as we become preoccupied with avoiding death, we risk neglecting the essence of what it means to truly engage with life. The allure for eternal youth and vitality prompts reflection on quality versus quantity. Does a life prolonged in fear and stagnation deliver happiness? Or can finite moments of joy within a limited lifespan can be more fulfilling? The immortal jellyfish also invites questions about identity and transformation. If life were an endless cycle of renewal, who would we become? Philosophers like Heraclitus propose that change and flux define existence. We are never quite the same person from one moment to the next. Perhaps the jellyfish serves as a reminder that our essence is fluid, moving through experiences that shape and redefine us. However, if we were endlessly reborn, would we lose our sense of self in the process, becoming mere collections of memories without meaningful growth? As you stand at the water's edge, consider the lessons of the immortal jellyfish. Its narrative challenges us to reflect on our relationship with time, life, and purpose. Immortality tempts us with endless possibilities, yet the true beauty of life may lie in its transient nature. Ultimately, does the jellyfish's secret teach us to cherish each moment, to reflect on how our brief existence holds power and influence? The questions linger in the air like the whisper of the wind, inviting us to ponder without the certainty of answers, and to embrace the delicate balance of existence itself. The Antikythera Mechanism. Imagine sailing a vast ocean, the wind in your hair, as you navigate the endless blue. But instead of following mere intuition or the stars, you possess a remarkable device that can calculate the movements of celestial bodies with astonishing precision. You hold in your hands the culmination of human ingenuity, a contraption that merges mathematics, astronomy, and engineering, crafted over 2 millennia ago. This is the Antikythera Mechanism, a mysterious artifact that raises profound questions about knowledge, progress, and the nature of human understanding. Discovered submerged off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera, this ancient device, an elaborate arrangement of gears and dials, hints at a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos that was lost to the ages. But what does this tell us about human curiosity? Philosophers like Immanuel Kant believed that our pursuit of knowledge is not merely an accumulation of facts, but an expression of our innate reason. The Antikythera Mechanism showcases this drive, urging us to reflect on the relationship between human beings and the universe they inhabit. Yet its existence also invites contemplation on the fragility of knowledge. The mechanism, designed to predict astronomical events, was a marvel of its time, but it raises the question: if such brilliance was once achieved, why was this knowledge forgotten? The Tower of Babel legends warn us about the potential consequences of human ambition and the limits of our comprehension. Could it be that in our relentless quest for mastery, we inadvertently walk the fine line between enlightenment and hubris? Contrasting perspectives emerge from different philosophical traditions. The empiricists, like John Locke, might argue that our understanding is grounded in experience, while rationalists like René Descartes contend that reason alone can grasp the universe's essence. The Antikythera Mechanism embodies both. It suggests that empirical observation of the heavens, combined with mathematical reasoning, can lead us closer to understanding. But is this knowledge ultimately limited? As we unravel the mysteries of the universe, do we risk losing sight of the simple wonders that make existence beautiful? In modern times, the mechanism has inspired a re-examination of what constitutes progress. In our age of rapid technological advancement, where we create machines that extend beyond our comprehension, the question looms: are we becoming overly reliant on our creations, potentially losing sight of our own humanity in the process? The paradox lies in the balance between wielding technology for progress, while ensuring that it serves to enhance, rather than dictate, our understanding. As we conclude this exploration of the Antikythera Mechanism, we find ourselves drawn to a deeper question that resonates through the ages. In our quest for knowledge, are we merely rediscovering what has long been lost, or are we forging a new path altogether? With each invention, do we find clarity in the stars, or do we find ourselves grappling with the mysteries that remain? The answers, elusive as they may be, invite us to continue reflecting on our place in the cosmos, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge, much like the mechanism itself, is a journey without a final destination. The floating islands of the Philippines. Imagine a serene morning as the sun ascends over the horizon, casting shimmering reflections on the tranquil waters of the Philippines. You find yourself drifting above magical floating islands, homes to vibrant communities whose existence seems paradoxical, absent on land yet thriving on water. This picturesque scene prompts a deeper question. What does it mean to belong? Can a place be home when it lacks traditional roots, anchored instead by the ethereal nature of existence? The floating islands of the Philippines challenge our understanding of belonging and identity. Much like the islands, human beings seek connection and significance, often tethered to physical spaces. Philosophers such as John Locke have posited that property and space are intrinsic to identity, claiming that one's sense of self is deeply entwined with their surroundings. Yet, These floating communities navigate life away from the fixed landscapes many consider essential to their identity. How do they carve out a sense of belonging when their homes are adrift, influenced by tides and fleeting currents? In thinking of these communities, we encounter the existential perspectives of Jean-Paul Sartre and Martin Heidegger. Sartre emphasized existence preceding essence, suggesting that individuals must define themselves through choices. Liberated from societal expectations, the inhabitants of the floating islands embody this philosophy, crafting identities unencumbered by traditional geography. In their world, existence itself shapes who they are, living harmoniously amid nature's spontaneity, creating homes not by concrete, but by connection to one another and the surrounding waters. Contrastingly, Heidegger spoke of being in the world, suggesting that human existence is rooted in relation to the places we occupy. For many, a concrete foundation offers stability, a touchstone for memories and experiences. But the floating islanders redefine this notion, illustrating that connection and belonging can emerge from interaction and adaptation, reflecting a relationship with the ever-changing environment. What is more significant, the land beneath our feet or the relationships we nurture? This dilemma extends into modern-day experiences where globalization reshapes traditional notions of home. As people migrate in search of opportunities, they leave behind familiar landscapes, often redefining their sense of identity in bustling cities or new countries. The floating islands echo this reality. They remind us that identity is a journey molded by experiences, resilience, and the diverse landscapes we traverse. Yet, as we voyage through these ideas, we must confront the open-endedness of belonging. Are we attached to places and possessions, or do we find home in fleeting moments shared with others? Perhaps the greatest philosophical pursuit lies in unraveling the tension between our rooted desires and the fluidity of existence. Just as the floating islands afloat in an open expanse, we too navigate life's currents, seeking connection, purpose, and continuity, wherever we may find it. As we drift away from this reflective journey, we are left with lingering questions. Are homes truly defined by space, or can they transcend the physical? What stories do we carry within us, untethered by the confines of land? In the quest for belonging, might we find that it is less about where we reside and more about how we connect to the world around us? In this contemplation, may we embrace the complexity of our existence and the myriad ways we define our homes. A mysterious Voynich manuscript. Imagine a book that has baffled scholars, linguists, and cryptographers for centuries. Its pages are filled with intricate illustrations of plants that don't exist, diagrams of celestial bodies, and undecipherable text that resembles no known language. What secrets could this enigmatic manuscript hold? Why has it eluded understanding for so long? And what does this mystery suggest about the nature of knowledge itself? The Voynich manuscript, named after Wilfrid Voynich, who acquired it in 1912, poses a captivating philosophical dilemma about comprehension and the limits of human understanding. It reflects a paradox, a physical artifact, rich with detail, and yet utterly incomprehensible. This raises questions about the nature of meaning. Can something exist that we cannot understand? Or does the very fact of its existence mean it holds some form of knowledge, waiting to be unlocked by minds more capable than ours? Philosophically, the manuscript challenges our view of language and symbols. Wittgenstein famously said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." If the text within the Voynich manuscript indeed represents a coherent system of thought, It demonstrates that our established frameworks of comprehension may be entirely inadequate. What if the manuscript encapsulates a reality we cannot grasp? This thought echoes the theories of post-structuralists like Derrida, who argue that meaning is fluid, deferred, and context-dependent. The text invites us to grapple with the idea that some knowledge may remain obscured, even when it exists before our very eyes. In modern society, the uncertainty embodied in the Voynich manuscript resonates deeply. We live in an age overwhelmed by information, yet clarity remains elusive. The proliferation of data, coupled with competing narratives and ideologies, forces us to question how we derive meaning from the complexities of our world. Each time we encounter something we cannot fully understand, be it a foreign language, an intricate theory, or an unfathomable personal experience, we are confronted with our own intellectual vulnerability. Is it possible that our quests for understanding may ultimately be Sisyphean? Some argue that the manuscript symbolizes humanity's unending curiosity, a reminder of our penchant for exploration, whether it be in science, art, or philosophy. Yet with this exploration comes ambiguity. The manuscript may signify that the answers we seek might be forever out of reach. In a way, the manuscript could mirror our own existential struggles, reflecting a world rife with unanswered questions. If we accept that not everything can be known, do we undermine the very foundation of our quest for knowledge? The philosophical underpinnings of the Voynich manuscript lead us down a lingering path of inquiry. Perhaps this text serves as a mirror, inviting us to confront our own limits and dilemmas regarding knowledge, understanding, and the mysteries of existence itself. It is a reminder that our pursuit may reveal more about our own limitations and the ever-expanding horizons of the unknown. As you contemplate the Voynich manuscript, consider the unresolved enigma it represents. Are there truths that lie beyond our comprehension? And if so, what does that say about the human experience? In a world filled with uncertainties, how do we navigate the space between seeking answers and embracing the beauty of the unsolved? Perhaps in the end, the greatest mystery of all is not the manuscript itself, but the questions it leaves us pondering in endless reflection. The Churyumov-Gerasimenko Comet composition. Imagine standing beneath a vast, starry sky, with the universe sprawled before you in all its infinite glory. Among the endless cosmic wonders, a small, icy body dances around the sun. Comet Churyumov-Gerasimenko. As you gaze upward, a thought emerges. What does this celestial wanderer tell us about the nature of existence and our place within the cosmos? Comet Churyumov-Gerasimenko, discovered in 1969, is not merely an object of scientific inquiry. It serves as a mirror, reflecting our own philosophical quandaries. Composed of dust, rock, and frozen gases, this ancient traveler is believed to contain primordial material from the dawn of the solar system. This leads us to ponder, do we, like the comet, carry within us the remnants of our beginnings? Can we unearth meaning from our own origins, just as scientists attempt to decipher the comet's secrets? From a metaphysical standpoint, the debate over the composition of Churyumov-Gerasimenko may evoke thoughts within the realm of materialism and idealism. Materialists contend that what we observe and measure, like the frozen gases and organic compounds found on the comet, constitutes reality. Alternatively, idealists might argue that our understanding is shaped more by perception and consciousness than mere composition. The comet, in its icy silence, begs us to question, does the material world constitute the essence of existence, or might our interpretations of it shape what we believe to be true? Consider also the contrasting views of existential philosophers. Jean-Paul Sartre argued that existence precedes essence, suggesting our lives derive meaning from personal choices rather than inherent qualities. In light of this, one might wonder, does the comet have any inherent meaning? Or are we, as conscious observers, bestowing significance upon its existence? The comet's composition, crafted over eons, may reflect the landscape of life itself, an intricate tapestry woven from choices, experiences, and unforeseen circumstances. In our modern context, the exploration of Comet Churyumov-Gerasimenko extends beyond scientific investigation. It touches on our collective human experience. As humanity embarks on ambitious journeys to explore our solar system, we invariably confront our vulnerabilities and limitations. The very act of sending a probe like Rosetta to study the comet speaks to our relentless quest for knowledge and understanding. Yet, it also raises questions about the ethical implications of our actions. Are we seeking to conquer space, or are we striving to coexist with the cosmos? As we reflect on the findings from Churyumov-Gerasimenko, the amino acids detected, the presence of water ice, and the hints of organic molecules, we are reminded that the universe, like ourselves, may be a repository of stories yet to be told. Each discovery offers a glimpse not only into the origins of celestial bodies, but also into our own existential questions. Who are we? What are we made of? What meaning do we derive from our experiences? In this tranquil exploration, we are left with more questions than answers. Each observation of the comet prompts us to consider our place in a grand narrative, one where we are both observers and participants. What poetic depths might lie hidden in the comet's composition, echoing the complexities of our humanity? Let us continue to ponder this relationship, to look to the stars and beyond, with a sense of wonder grounded in reflection, always embracing the mysteries that await and the profound questions they inspire. The Disco Clam Light Show. Imagine yourself submerged in the sparkling waters of a vibrant coral reef. Vivid colors swirl around you, all shades of blue, yellows, and reds dancing in delicate harmony. Among the glittering corals and the shimmering schools of fish, you find an unusual spectacle, a clam resting somewhat regally on the ocean floor. As the gentle currents pass over it, the clam responds, unleashing waves of kaleidoscopic lights, each flicker more mesmerizing than the last. Each illumination choreographs a dance of colors, giving rise to a philosophical enigma. In this wondrous display, are we merely observers or participants in a broader ecosystem of meaning and connection? The disco clam, as it has come to be known, is not simply a biological curiosity. It raises profound questions about existence, perception, and our place in the universe. This delightful creature, with its own unique light show, evokes contrasting philosophical perspectives. On one side, we have the awe of natural beauty and the sense of interconnectedness shared by figures like Albert Schweitzer, who espoused the notion of reverence for life. He believed that all forms of life possess intrinsic value, and thus a clam emblazoned with electrifying lights invites us into an appreciation of nature's artistry, a reminder of our shared existence on this planet. Yet, contrasting this idea are perspectives drawn from existentialism. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre might challenge us to consider whether the clam's pulsating luminescence can hold meaning independent of our experience. Is the disco clam simply a biological mechanism, devoid of intention or consciousness, or does it enrich our understanding of existence? For Sartre, existence precedes essence, suggesting that meaning is not preordained. Rather, it is shaped by our interactions with the world around us. In this light, our experience of the clam's luminescence becomes a canvas upon which we project our own interpretations of beauty and existence. In modern times, this dilemma continues to resonate, much like the clam's light show illuminating the ocean depths. Take, for instance, modern technology. artificial intelligence creates breathtaking images and soundscapes, yet questions linger about its emotional essence. Can we derive a sense of beauty from a machined creation, or is it purely a derivative echo of our experience, devoid of the human touch? As we reflect on the disco clam and its illumination, we find an invitation to ponder deeper existential questions. Are we mere passive observers in a cosmic dance of existence, or do we actively participate in the creation of meaning through our interpretations? The interplay of light, life, and perception invites us not only to explore our relationship with nature, but also to consider how these reflections shape our understanding of human life itself. So, as you contemplate the glimmering hues of the clam's light show, allow your thoughts to dance freely. What does it mean to witness such beauty? Do these fleeting moments of wonder hold weight in the narrative of your life? In the embrace of the tranquil sea and beneath the disco clam's mesmerizing spectacle, the serenity of exploration invites a journey without predetermined answers, echoing the ongoing quest for meaning we all share. The Bloop, underwater sound. Imagine a deep, vast ocean, teeming with life yet shrouded in mystery. The sun barely penetrates its dark waters, where ancient creatures glide silently. Suddenly, a deep, resonant sound echoes through the depths, a sound scientists would later name the Bloop. It is powerful and haunting, so immense that it could be heard over thousands of miles. What could make such a sound? A colossal marine beast lurking in the depths, or perhaps the Earth itself voicing a secret long hidden beneath the waves. The Bloop, detected in 1997, is an enigma that has captured imaginations and sparked a multitude of theories. Initially attributed to a giant creature lurking in the unexplored ocean, it forces us to ponder the philosophical dilemma of our understanding of reality. Are we equipped to perceive the full scope of existence, or do we rest content within the confines of our limited knowledge? The Bloop serves as a reminder of a world that clearly exists beyond our grasp. Some philosophers, like Immanuel Kant, suggest that our perceptions are shaped by intrinsic limitations, the noumena versus phenomena dichotomy. We sense the world through our experiences, but these experiences can only reveal a fragment of a much larger reality. The Bloop might be one such phenomenon, a whisper of a world that extends beyond human interpretation. In stark contrast, the pragmatist John Dewey argues against accepting such mysteries without seeking tangible explanations. Dewey might encourage an inquisitive spirit, one that looks upon the Bloop not as an obstacle to understanding, but as an invitation to explore. Each theory proposed, be it the sound of icebergs calving, an unknown sea creature, or even geological activity, shows a splendid blend of human curiosity and scientific discipline. The longing for understanding resonates in modern society. We find ourselves constantly reaching out for answers to the unknown, from the mysteries of the universe to our own inner depths. The Bloop not only challenges our understanding of sound and marine life, but it also reflects a broader quest for meaning in a complex and often chaotic world. We thrive on exploration and inquiry, pushing the boundaries of knowledge, even in the face of uncertainty. However, the Bloop also reminds us of the limits of scientific inquiry and knowledge. What if we were to uncover the origin of this sound, only to find that it leads to more profound questions? What if the answer is not what we expect? Perhaps it underscores a truth echoed by existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre, that knowledge, though sought after, often leads to further conundrums, and understanding is forever just out of reach. As we drift through this ocean of thought, we can contemplate the vastness of what lies beneath. The Bloop invites us to reflect not just on the depths of the ocean, but on the depths of our own understanding. What unknowns remain within us, And what truths is the universe whispering that we have yet to fathom? Thus we arrive at a serene juncture where curiosity blends with humility. Who knows what future discoveries lie in wait, just as we continue to listen for echoes in the dark. Perhaps it is in our exploration of the unknown that we will find the meaning we seek. How will you choose to engage with the mysteries beyond your horizon? The Juramaia Sinensis fossil find. Imagine walking through a vast, ancient forest where the air is dense with the scent of primordial life. A time before mammoths and pterosaurs, where small creatures scurry beneath the towering trees, and somewhere, amid the roots, lies buried the whispers of a world lost to time. Among those whispers is the Juramaia Sinensis, a fossil that exemplifies a poignant philosophical dilemma. How do we understand our place in the grand narrative of evolution? Discovered in China, the Juramaia Sinensis is hailed as one of the earliest known ancestors of modern mammals. This little creature lived about 160 million years ago, and in many ways, it represents a pivotal moment in the story of life on Earth, when mammals first began to diversify. Yet, as we unearth these remnants of ancient life, we are confronted with fundamental questions. What does it mean to be a species? What narratives do we weave from the fragments of history we unearth? This inquiry leads us to the contrasting perspectives of philosophers who have contemplated the interconnectedness of life. For instance, the existentialist Albert Camus invites us to confront the absurdity of existence, pushing us to find meaning in a strange, indifferent universe. In a similar vein, the fossilized remains of the Juramaia Sinensis serve as a reminder of our own fleeting existence. Its presence raises the question, are we merely part of a long continuum of life defined by our survival, or do we instill our own meaning in the timeline of evolution? On the other hand, the evolutionary biologist Stephen Jay Gould offers a different lens through which to view our kinship with the past. He advocates for the notion of punctuated equilibrium, emphasizing the bursts of rapid change amid long periods of stability. Just as the Juramaia Sinensis marks a purposeful moment of change, so too do we have the opportunity to influence the future trajectory of our species. This invites reflection on the moral implications of our actions as stewards of the planet. Will we create a legacy worth remembering, or will we be another footnote in the vast encyclopedia of life? In today's world, as we face existential threats to biodiversity and changing climates, the story of the Juramaia Sinensis becomes all the more relevant. The fossil urges us to consider the choices we make today. Are we, like the tiny mammal from eons past, equipped to adapt, to innovate, to thrive? Or are we caught in a cycle of destruction, disregarding the lessons of the past? The Juramaia Sinensis, while long extinct, embodies both fragility and resilience, qualities that could easily reflect our own human condition. As we ponder these mysteries against the serene backdrop of ancient forests and hidden fossils, we arrive at an open-ended question that invites you to reflect. What story do you wish to tell in the ongoing saga of life? Are we mere spectators, or are we the authors of our destiny? In contemplating these questions, may we find not just sorrow in the passing of time, but also an appreciation for the wonder of existence, urging us to act with intention, humility, and hope for the future. The Handfish walking technique. Imagine a world where a creature seemingly out of place dons the ability to walk on land, a skill few residing in the depths of the oceans can boast. The handfish, with its delicate fins transformed into rudimentary limbs, takes those tentative steps on the sandy shores. This peculiar sight prompts a profound question. What does it mean to adapt, to thrive, even in the most unexpected circumstances? The handfish's unique technique for walking is a remarkable example of evolution, illustrating a journey of survival and adaptation. Yet, it transcends mere biology and invites us to consider the philosophical implications of human adaptation. In a world that constantly changes and presents us with new challenges, how do we navigate our own paths? Is it in our nature to adapt like the handfish? Or do we resist change, preferring the comfort of the familiar? Aristotle believed that the essence of a thing is interwoven with its purpose. The handfish, with its extraordinary metamorphosis, serves its purpose in both ocean and land, embodying the very idea of potentiality becoming actuality. Yet, from another perspective, the existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre might argue that existence precedes essence. He suggests that individuals create meaning through their actions, much like the handfish defines its own purpose by choosing to step onto new ground. As we reflect on our capabilities to adapt, we might consider modern examples of human resilience. People facing adversity often find themselves walking on unfamiliar terrain, compelled to rethink their choices and redefine success. In this sense, the handfish becomes a symbol not just of biological evolution, but of human tenacity. When confronted with a shifting landscape, be it emotional, social, or even environmental, do we find the courage to embrace change? Or do we cling to our aquatic existence, fearful of stepping onto the unknown? Philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche championed the idea of embracing struggle and challenge as a means to forge one's identity. In a society filled with rapidly evolving technology, shifting values, and existential uncertainties, how do we, like the handfish, utilize our own walking technique? Do we shy away from the struggle, or do we embrace the opportunity to evolve into something greater? Perhaps there's a deeper connection to consider. The urge to walk towards new horizons can provoke both excitement and trepidation. The act of stepping on land transforms the handfish, just as our own attempts to redefine ourselves can bring about personal growth and transformation. Yet it remains vital to ask ourselves, might we find beauty not only in the success of adapting, but also in the struggle against our hesitance? Is the path of less resistance truly the best choice, or is there vibrancy in the challenge? The imagery of the handfish walking elegantly invites an open-ended reflection on our lives. How can embracing change illuminate hidden potentials? How can we learn from the handfish's brave expedition onto land, navigating the volatility of existence? As we ponder these questions, remember that the answers may not be distinct or final. Rather, they may continue to evolve with every step we take into the world, much like the handfish gracefully walks between two realms. Each moment we choose to step forward into the unknown signals our willingness to adapt, reflect, and ultimately grow. The Sanqiang alien radio signals. Imagine standing under a vast night sky, filled with countless stars, each a sun hosting its own potential worlds. Now envision a transmission, a series of enigmatic radio signals emanating from the region of Sanqiang, thought to be whispers from an alien civilization. What if these signals are not just random noise? What if they are an invitation to engage, a sign of intelligent life reaching out across the dark void of space? This scenario invites profound questions about existence, consciousness, and our place within the universe. The discovery of these signals forces us to grapple not only with the possibility of extraterrestrial life, but also what it means to communicate across such immense distances. Are we prepared to understand and decode messages from another intelligence? The late philosopher, Carl Sagan, eloquently reflected on the vastness of the universe, suggesting that not only is it likely we are not alone, but that the quest for meaning and understanding shapes our humanity. However, does an encounter with alien intelligence reaffirm our purpose or cause us to reevaluate it entirely? One perspective comes from the existentialist view of philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir, who argue that meaning is constructed through our choices and perceptions. They might urge us to see these signals not merely as external information, but as a mirror reflecting our own existential condition. If intelligent life exists beyond Earth, it spurs questions about what it means to be human, our values, and our responsibilities towards our planet and each other. Could our engagement with alien intelligence urge us towards a greater ethical responsibility, fostering cooperation and understanding here on Earth? Yet, contrastingly, consider the implications of encountering a civilization far more advanced than ours. Would such an event represent a threat, thrusting us into a power dynamic reminiscent of the colonial conflicts of history? Philosophers like Thomas Hobbes posited that human nature inclines toward competition and conflict. If we view the aliens through this lens, we might panic in our response to their signals, fearing for our existence and autonomy. Would we invite them in, or erect barriers against them, wary of their potential intentions? Moreover, the Sanqiang signals provoke a reflection on our own limitations. The Fermi paradox challenges us. If highly advanced civilizations should exist, why haven't we detected more evidence of them? Perhaps the signals reveal not just an opportunity for dialogue, but our current isolation and the inherent challenges of interstellar communication. Could our understanding of time and space, rooted in earthly experiences, blind us to the forms communication might take? As we ponder the possibility of intelligent life beyond our planet, we must also reflect on how our interpretations of these signals reveal our own fears, aspirations, and understandings of the universe. Do we see these signals as a hopeful bridge or a daunting abyss? The Sanqiang alien radio signals present a layered, philosophical dilemma about communication, existence, and the nature of intelligence. In standing on the precipice of this profound discovery, we are invited to embrace the mystery of the unknown and consider how such a revelation shapes our identity. As we gaze into the night sky, perhaps the real question is not whether we are alone or not, but how this quest for connection ultimately defines what it means to be human. In that space of uncertainty, we remain free to contemplate, dream, and wonder about the voices we have yet to hear. The Tardigrade space survival. Imagine a tiny creature, a microscopic being that can withstand extremes beyond human comprehension. Temperatures near absolute zero, intense radiation, and even the vacuum of space. This creature, the tardigrade, can enter a state of cryptobiosis, a sort of suspended animation, allowing it to endure conditions that would obliterate most life forms. If a small organism can survive the vacuity of outer space, what might that say about the resilience of life itself? This brings us to a profound philosophical dilemma about existence, adaptability, and the essence of survival. In a universe that seems indifferent to the plight of life, where the cosmos unfolds in breathtaking vastness, the tardigrade's resilience raises questions about the nature of survival. Does strength lie in sheer toughness, or in the ability to adapt, to change? From a Nietzschean perspective, we might argue that life, in all its forms, is an assertion of willpower, a drive to overcome obstacles and persevere against odds. The tardigrade exemplifies this notion of life's relentless struggle, thriving where others perish. Yet, one could counter this view with an existentialist lens, perhaps echoing the sentiments of Jean-Paul Sartre, who might ask if such survival is even meaningful. Does merely existing in a state of suspended animation equate to a life worth living, or does it highlight a dull continuity devoid of purpose? This contemplation resonates powerfully in today's reality, as humanity faces climate change, extinction of species, and even our own potential self-destruction. The tardigrade story prompts reflections on our own survival. Are we truly resilient, or are we simply delaying the inevitable through adaptation? Will our capabilities as a species parallel those of the tardigrade, allowing us to endure in changing circumstances? Yet, amid all this contemplation, a delicate thought emerges, observed in the compassionate philosophy of Albert Camus. He suggested that we must imagine Sisyphus as happy, pushing his boulder for eternity. Similarly, can we find contentment in our own survival struggles, even when conditions seem excruciating? This perspective beckons us to embrace our existence, flaws, struggles, adaptations, and all. The tardigrade symbolizes not just survival, it embodies the possibility of flourishing, irrespective of the challenges it faces. As we draw parallels, we might wonder, in a world that offers vast unknowns, what strategies will we employ as individuals and as a collective to navigate through turbulence? As we ponder this tiny titan of the natural world, consider your own resilience. What does survival mean to you, and how does your story intertwine with the broader tapestry of existence? The mere survival of a tardigrade encourages a deeper conversation about what it indeed means to live. Perhaps the ultimate question lies not in how we endure, but in how we choose to define and embrace life itself. The frog that can change colors. Imagine a serene pond nestled within a lush forest. The water glistens under the warm sun, and the air is filled with the gentle hum of nature. Here, among the reeds and lily pads, sits a frog like no other. This is no ordinary amphibian. It possesses a remarkable ability to change its colors at will. When fear strikes, it transforms into a muted brown, blending seamlessly into its surroundings. When it feels safe, vibrant greens and blues cascade across its skin, reflecting its joy. This extraordinary creature raises a profound question. Is the frog's chameleon-like adaptability a strength or a weakness? On one hand, the ability to change colors can be seen as a spectrum of survival, a tool for evasion, and a testament to nature's ingenuity. Like the frog, we often adapt to our environments, taking on different roles and disguises to navigate our social spheres. Social theorists such as Irving Goffman speak to this, highlighting the facade we construct to present ourselves favorably in various contexts. This adaptability, much like the frogs, can be viewed as a sign of resilience. Yet, in striving to be what others wish us to be, do we risk losing our true selves? In contrast, this dilemma introduces the philosophical concept of authenticity. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that embracing one's essence rather than conforming to external expectations is crucial for genuine existence. Constantly changing, like the frog, can lead us away from our core identity. What happens when the desire to fit in morphs into a fear of revealing our true colors? As we ponder this, consider how the color-changing frog connects with modern relationships and social media. In a world dominated by curated personas, individuals often feel pressured to adapt continuously. the subtle shifts in our online images, the snippets of our lives we choose to present, do they obscure our authentic selves, inviting the question, who am I without the filter? Moreover, this philosophical inquiry holds a deeper significance. Our capacity to adapt can also extend beyond survival. Imagine a person who shifts their viewpoints to avoid conflict or gain approval. How does this affect their capacity for genuine connection? The frog, a mirror of our complexities, reminds us that while our ability to protect ourselves through change can shield us from harm, it may simultaneously isolate us from our true essence and from others. So as you reflect on this unique creature of the pond, consider your own life. When do you feel free to reveal your true colors? And when do you retreat into shades of compliance? Can true connection exist when authenticity is sacrificed at the altar of adaptation? As you let these questions linger in your thoughts, think of the frog that can change colors, and dare to embrace the brilliant vibrancy of your own hues. In this journey of self-discovery, the question remains, can we find strength in being both adaptable and authentic, or do we risk becoming mere reflections, forever shifting, yet never truly seen? The DNA of an alien species found in meteorites. Imagine standing on a quiet night, gazing up at the stars. Among those countless pinpricks of light, you ponder the vastness of the universe and the possibility that life exists beyond our planet. Now, picture an astonishing discovery. Scientists have found intact DNA from an alien species embedded in ancient meteorites that have journeyed from distant worlds. What does this mean for humanity's understanding of life, existence, and our place in the cosmos? This discovery propels us into profound philosophical inquiries. What defines life? Is it the physicality of cells and DNA, or is there something spectral, an essence that transcends biological form? Philosophers like René Descartes have long debated the nature of existence itself, often separating the mind from the body. If alien DNA exists, are we forced to reevaluate our definitions of consciousness and sentience? Do these extraterrestrial genes imply intelligent design or the simply random workings of a cosmic lottery? Consider this. If the DNA reveals complex information pointing to a thriving civilization, do we then possess the ethical responsibility to recognize them? Would this discovery force us to rethink the concept of personhood? The American philosopher Judith Jarvis Thomson famously questioned personhood concepts in her famous violinist thought experiment. If we determine that this alien life with its distinct DNA has some level of consciousness, would we have to mirror the same considerations of rights typically attributed to humans? On the other hand, as the renowned philosopher Daniel Dennett argues, the existence of alien DNA could challenge our anthropocentric worldview. If we consider life merely as a mechanism shaped by natural selection and random mutation, then the presence of alien life should enrich our understanding of evolutionary processes. Such an understanding evokes wonder. Perhaps life is far more ubiquitous, diverse, and intertwined across the cosmos. But where does this leave us in the context of our spiritual beliefs? Would the discovery of alien DNA incite existential dread, calling our religious convictions into question? After all, if life originates in myriad forms across the galaxy, then what does it mean for our interpretation of divine creation? Philosophers like William James have pondered the existential weight of such revelations. In the presence of uncertainty, James posited a pragmatic response, suggesting that our beliefs may evolve to include these new truths, expanding the human experience rather than diminishing it. Yet, amid this cosmic exploration, one must ask, how do we engage ethically with this newfound knowledge? The implications of alien life force us to confront our responsibilities, both towards these potential beings and within the realm of our own humanity. Environmentalist philosophers like Aldo Leopold and his land ethic compel us to view our interconnectedness with all forms of life more holistically. Might we also need to extend this ethic beyond Earth, recognizing a moral obligation towards life that exists beyond our atmosphere? As we reflect upon the existence of DNA from an alien species, we are left not with clarities, but with a myriad of questions. The cosmos beckons us to ponder, to question, and to explore the depths of our understanding. Perhaps the essence of this discovery is not solely in the science of extraterrestrial life, but in the profound journey it inspires, a journey of reflection on life's meaning, our connections, and the very fabric of existence. What will we choose to do with this revelation? The contemplation remains, silently whispering across the universe, inviting us to engage with both its mysteries and our own. The sounds coming from inside black holes. Imagine standing on the edge of a cosmic abyss, where time and space twist together in a dark ballet, and sound itself becomes a distant memory, stripped away by an entity so powerful that light cannot escape. What do you think a black hole sounds like? Would it be a deafening roar, or perhaps a silence so profound that it echoes through eternity? This fascination with the hidden sounds of black holes leads us into deep waters, a philosophical contemplation of existence, perception, and the boundaries of human understanding. Black holes exist at the intersection of science and metaphysics. They challenge not only our knowledge of the universe, but also our comprehension of what lies beyond the physical realm. To many, black holes symbolize the ultimate mystery, a final frontier where the known laws of physics begin to falter. Yet in a way, they mirror our own existential dilemmas. What does it mean to confront the unknown? How do we grapple with experiences and realities that defy definition? Philosophers like Immanuel Kant have long pondered the limits of human perception, suggesting that we can never truly know the things in themselves, that reality exists beyond our sensory experience. If we cannot hear black holes in the traditional sense, do they make any sound at all? Perhaps we might equate the silence surrounding these cosmic behemoths with the unknown aspects of our lives, the thoughts and feelings we cannot fully articulate or understand. Furthermore, consider the voice of modern physics. Researchers have converted black hole phenomena into sound waves, allowing us to hear the inaudible. The chirps of colliding black holes resemble the distant notes of a haunting symphony, eliciting a sense of wonder and awe. Yet, while these sounds provide a glimpse into the vast universe's processes, they raise unsettling questions about the limitations of our interpretation. Do the sounds we assign to these celestial events contain any inherent meaning, or are they merely reflections of our own imaginings? Engaging with this dilemma leads us to examine the contrast between two philosophical schools: empiricism, which emphasizes knowledge through sensory experience, and rationalism, which seeks truths independent of observation. The very act of listening to the sounds of black holes brings us face to face with the tension between what we can observe and what we can intuit, a metaphor for our own lives, filled with experiences we may never entirely grasp, yet often feel compelled to explore. In our contemporary context, the narrative surrounding black holes serves as a reminder of our collective uncertainties. With the rapid advancements in technology, we're increasingly faced with questions about what it means to know something, or even to truly listen. How can we discern the genuine from the fabricated, the authentic voice amidst the cacophony of noise that surrounds us? As we strive to make sense of our world, do we, like theorists interpreting the sounds of black holes, impose our own meanings, or can we truly understand them in their essence? Perhaps, as we journey into the enigmatic realm of black holes and their elusive sounds, we find ourselves reflecting upon the essence of existence itself, the uncertainty, the silence. The chaotic symphony of the universe invites us to engage deeply with our own thoughts and feelings, to ponder what lies beyond our comprehension. In contemplating these celestial enigmas, we realize that the questions we ask may carry as much weight as any answers we seek. So, the next time you find yourself appealing to the cosmic mysteries, remember, some sounds may linger silently within the shadows, inviting us into deeper contemplation. The glass frog's transparent bodies. Imagine wandering through a lush rainforest, where light filters through the emerald canopy, casting a magical glow on the vibrant flora below. Suddenly, you stumble upon a delicate creature, nearly invisible against the leaves. It's a glass frog. Its transparent skin reveals a kaleidoscope of organs gently pulsing beneath the surface, a living testament to nature's artistry. But as you gaze upon this marvel, a profound question emerges. What does it mean to truly be seen? The glass frog's transparency invites us to ponder the complexities of identity and vulnerability. On one hand, transparency can symbolize purity and openness, evoking the idea that revealing one's true self fosters deeper connections. Yet in our own lives, how often do we embrace this clarity? Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre have argued that to be seen is to be judged. What if embracing our transparency makes us vulnerable to scrutiny, even exploitation? The contrast between the glass frog and our human condition speaks to a central philosophical dilemma: the desire for authenticity versus the fear of exposure. While Sartre urges us to embrace radical freedom and acceptance of being seen, other thinkers, like Friedrich Nietzsche, caution against being too transparent. Nietzsche suggests that embracing the masks we wear can be a source of strength. The struggle between appearance and reality can reveal the complexities of identity. In contemporary life, social media serves as a vivid reflection of this dilemma. Platforms encourage us to curate our existence, to embrace an image of transparency that may not represent our true selves. Are we, like the glass frogs, subjecting ourselves to the light, or are we creating facades to shield our inner vulnerabilities? The pressure to present a perfect life can overshadow the beauty of authenticity, trapping us in cycles of comparison and self-doubt. Yet, consider this: the glass frog, in its transparency, embodies resilience. The unique evolutionary adaptations allow it to thrive in a world brimming with predators. Its unconventional beauty serves not only as camouflage, but as a testament to the richness of life found in the delicate balance between exposure and protection. What does that teach us about our own lives? Can we find strength in our vulnerabilities, learning to navigate the spaces between being seen and the desire for privacy? Ultimately, the glass frog invites us on a contemplative journey, blending the boundaries of visibility and existence. The question lingers: in our quest for connection and authenticity, how can we reconcile the push for transparency with the need for boundaries? Is embracing our vulnerabilities a path to deeper connections, or can it expose us to harm? As you reflect on these musings, consider the delicate dance of revealing yourself while safeguarding your essence. Like the glass frog, may we learn to cherish both our transparency and the intricate layers that lie beneath. The journey toward understanding oneself continues, revealing that the most profound truths may lie in the spaces where we choose to belong, partially hidden, yet undeniably vibrant in our own unique way. The century-old Greenland shark. Imagine drifting quietly beneath the icy surface of the Arctic Ocean, surrounded by a world of ethereal beauty, where creatures glide through the water with an ancient grace. Among them is the Greenland shark, a creature that often eludes human understanding, yet carries within it the wisdom of centuries, a living testament to the passage of time. What stories could it tell if it could speak? What does it mean to live for so long in an ever-changing world? The Greenland shark can live for over 400 years, making it one of the longest living vertebrates known to science. As we ponder its extraordinary lifespan, we are faced with a rich philosophical dilemma, steeped in reflections on existence, time, and purpose. What does it mean to lead such a long life? Is it an advantage, offering a deeper understanding of the world, or does it come with a burden of isolation and change? From a philosophical standpoint, we can invoke the thoughts of existentialist philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Martin Heidegger. They remind us that meaning in life does not inherently come from mere duration, but is interconnected with our experiences and interactions. For the Greenland shark, a life that spans centuries might mean witnessing the dramatic transformations within its habitat due to climate change and human activities. Does this wisdom grant the shark a richer experience, or is it simply a passive observer with no agency to influence the outcomes around it? Contrasting this perspective is the Stoic philosophy shared by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, who believed in accepting the impermanence of all things. The Greenland shark, in its silence, may embody Stoicism, embracing the inevitability of change without resistance. It endures and persists despite the challenges it faces, reminding us of our own challenges and the resilience we must cultivate. In contemporary times, discussions around longevity center on the quality of life versus the quantity of years lived. The idea of living a long, healthy life is celebrated. Yet, does merely extending life lead to fulfillment? The Greenland shark challenges us to consider the value of experiences, relationships, and perhaps even the wisdom gained from centuries of existence alongside a changing world. Reflecting on this provides fertile ground for contemplation. As we consider the life of this extraordinary creature, we may be invited to examine our own lives and the inherent dilemmas of time. What do we want for ourselves as we navigate our own paths? What does it mean to live meaningfully in an ever-evolving landscape? As we slowly drift back to the surface of our thoughts, we're left with more questions than answers. Like the Greenland shark, gliding silently through time, we are caught in a current, pulled towards introspection, challenging us to find significance, not just in the years we count, but in the moments we cherish. Perhaps, in the end, the true depth of existence is not merely in living long, but in discovering the beauty held within each fleeting moment, urging us to reflect, connect, and embrace our journey, however long or short it may be. The mathematical patterns on Toolis's house. Imagine a quaint little cottage nestled at the end of a winding road, painted in soft hues that blend with the surrounding landscape. This is Toolis's house, a seemingly ordinary place, yet upon closer inspection, you notice something extraordinary. The windows, doors, and even the roof tiles are adorned with intricate geometrical patterns, hexagons, spirals, and fractals that captivate the eye and intrigue the mind. One must wonder, are these patterns mere decoration, or do they hold deeper significance in the universe's tapestry? The very essence of existence intertwines with mathematics, as Pythagoras once suggested. All is number. Toolis House invites us to ponder the philosophical implications of mathematical beauty in our everyday world. If one accepts this premise, then the patterns we see are not just visual art, but part of an underlying order, the primary language of nature. These patterns reflect the harmony and balance of the cosmos. Perhaps they symbolize not only aesthetic beauty, but a connection to the very fabric of reality. Yet contrasting views exist. The philosopher Immanuel Kant argued that human perception shapes our understanding of the universe. The patterns in Toolis's house could be perceived as mere artifacts of human imagination rather than universal truths. Are we imposing our need for order upon a chaotic world? When we see a sequence, we look for meaning. But does that meaning exist independently, or is it a construct of our minds? This prompts us to reconsider the nature of reality itself. Is it governed by mathematical laws, or do we impose these laws upon it to find comfort in our understanding? In our modern age, the implications of Toolis's house extend beyond its walls. Nature showcases patterns everywhere: the spiral of a seashell, the branching of a tree, or the arrangement of galaxies. The Fibonacci sequence, for example, emerges in florals, revealing an innate mathematical design flourishing in life itself. Such occurrences suggest that mathematics is not merely an invention, but an inherent characteristic of our universe. Yet amidst this beauty lies a paradox. Does acknowledging these patterns evoke a sense of order, or expose the chaos lurking beneath the surface? Furthermore, the exploration of mathematical patterns encourages contemporary conversations regarding technology. Take algorithms, for instance. They embody patterns that dictate the design of our digital environments, influencing our thoughts and actions in ways we often overlook. The algorithms that govern social media feeds, search engines, and even financial markets weave a digital tapestry similar to Toolis's envelopes of mathematics. But this raises a critical question. Are we becoming beholden to these patterns, losing a sense of autonomy as we navigate a world increasingly shaped by unseen mathematical forces? Thus, as we linger in contemplation over Toolis's house, we are left with more questions than answers. Are the patterns that grace its structure merely charming aesthetics, or do they beckon us to explore the equations of existence? Does understanding these mathematical principles offer comfort, or does it awaken a deeper awareness of our own insignificance in the grand equation of life? In the end, the patterns on Toolis's house serve as a gateway to deeper exploration. The more we reflect on them, the more we discover not just about the world around us, but also about ourselves and our place within this grand tapestry. What will you see when you gaze at the patterns? Beauty, chaos, or perhaps the very pulse of existence itself? The journey of contemplation awaits. The fungal internet of trees. Imagine yourself wandering through an ancient forest, sunlight filtering through the dense canopy overhead. You pause, absorbing the tranquil sounds of rustling leaves and distant bird calls. As you stand there, a thought arises. Beneath your feet lies a complex network of roots and fungi, connecting the trees in a symbiotic embrace. This hidden world, often referred to as the Wood Wide Web, serves not only as a lifeline for trees, but also as a reminder of the intricate interdependence that defines life itself. This is the philosophical backdrop for exploring the fungal internet of trees, an interconnected mycelial network that allows trees to communicate, share nutrients, and even warn each other of threats. This biological phenomenon invites us to reflect on the nature of connection, community, and existence. From a philosophical perspective, the mycelium challenges an individualistic worldview that has been predominant in modern thought. Thinkers like Immanuel Kant have emphasized autonomy and the notion of the self as an isolated entity. Yet, the forest shows us a different narrative, one that intertwines the essence of beings in ways that promote collective survival. If trees can flourish through cooperation, what might that suggest about our own societal structures? Are we, too, overlooking the power of interconnectedness in favor of solitary ambition? Contrastingly, some may hold a more utilitarian view. The fungal internet of trees could be seen as a pragmatic strategy for survival. John Stuart Mill's principle of the greatest happiness might apply here. Trees fostering each other for mutual benefit reflects a natural form of utilitarianism in which the network increases overall well-being. Yet this begs the question, does meaningful connection require a shared purpose, or can it exist simply as an intricate dance of life, seeking harmony? In today's world, where isolation and disconnection often prevail, this natural phenomenon resonates deeply. Social media connects us instantaneously, yet many experience profound loneliness amidst the digital interconnectedness. The fungal network urges us to rethink how we perceive relationships. Are they merely transactional, driven by self-interest? Or can they cultivate deep roots of mutual care and understanding, as seen in the thriving forest ecosystem? This brings us to the ethical implications of our connection to the world. If all beings, human and non-human, are intertwined, what responsibilities do we carry? Philosophers like Peter Singer advocate for extending our moral consideration beyond humanity, urging us to contemplate our ethical relationship with the living world. How do we honor the interconnectedness of our existence, one that embraces flora and fauna alike, rather than treating nature as a mere resource? Yet these questions leave us with more introspection than resolution. The fungal internet of trees serves as an invitation, a gentle nudge to reflect on our connections, not only to one another, but also to the broader tapestry of life. Are we cultivating relationships that nourish and sustain? Or have we drifted into patterns of disconnection and selfishness? As you ponder these thoughts, the forest around you continues its silent symphony of interdependence. The trees stand tall, roots interwoven with the fungi that whisper secrets in the dark soil. Perhaps, like them, we too can learn to embrace the beauty of connection, understanding that our existence is not isolated, but a shared journey through a vast and intricate web of life. The sea slug that stores solar energy. Imagine a creature capable of harnessing the sun's rays, transforming them into nourishment, and storing its energy within its own body. The Elysia chlorotica, or the Eastern Emerald Elysia, is a sea slug that embodies such an extraordinary ability, taking in chloroplasts from the algae it consumes. In essence, this remarkable being leads a life that blurs the lines between plant and animal, creating a profound philosophical dilemma. What does it mean to be truly alive? At first glance, the sea slug appears to challenge our conventional understanding of biology and existence. This creature adopts a unique form of symbiosis, one that prompts us to ponder the deeper implications of identity and agency. Can a being that captures and incorporates the essence of another organism even claim to be an individual? Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre have argued that existence precedes essence, suggesting that we define ourselves through our actions and choices. If we apply this to the sea slug, does its ability to assimilate chloroplasts grant it a new essence, or does it merely highlight the fluidity of identity within the tapestry of life? In a world where personal agency is often revered, the sea slug represents a striking contrast. By deriving energy from the sun, does it make its own choices or merely follow a biological imperative? This intersection of autonomy and dependency exposes a troubling paradox. If a creature is dependent on another for its vitality, to what extent can it claim identity? The implications extend far beyond a slimy mollusk navigating the ocean floor. In our modern world, we are increasingly connected, often relying on relationships, technology, or societal structures to thrive. How much of our identity is shaped by external influences? Is selfhood an island unto itself? Or is it a landscape shaped by the ebb and flow of interaction and connection? Then we consider the dynamic concept of existence itself. The sea slug, drawing nourishment from the sun, invites us to reflect on sustainability and interconnectedness. It raises the question of our role within ecosystems, human beings included. Much like the sea slug, are we not also products of our environment, drawing from its resources, yet often forgetting our ties to it? This philosophical exploration leads to ethical considerations. As we consider our relationship with nature, how do we balance the needs of self with the responsibility we hold to our environment? If the sea slug can illustrate a harmonious existence rooted in symbiosis, could humanity learn from this integration rather than pursuing a path of isolation and consumption? As we reflect on the sea slug that stores solar energy, we are left to wonder, what truly defines life, identity, and our role within the greater web of existence? In contemplating these questions, do we discover a deeper connection to our world, or does it underscore the tension between individuality and our dependency on others? The answers may remain elusive, but the journey of exploration beckons us to ponder anew the essence of our existence in an intricately woven tapestry of life. The animal that has double the DNA. Imagine a creature, unique and perplexing, a being that possesses not one set, but two complete sets of DNA, its own genetic blueprint, mirrored and duplicated. This is the fascinating reality of the ocean's own jellyfish, the Turritopsis dohrnii, often affectionately called the Immortal Jellyfish. With the remarkable ability to revert back to its juvenile polyp stage after maturity, it challenges our understanding of life, death, and identity. What does it mean, we may ponder, to exist in a state of perpetual renewal? As we delve into this enigma, we encounter profound philosophical questions surrounding the essence of life and existence. What does it mean to be alive, and how do we define life when faced with such extraordinary creatures? Unlike mammals with linear life cycles, the immortal jellyfish seems to defy the natural order through its regenerative capabilities. Could we see this as a metaphor for the potential of overcoming limitations, an aspiration to transcend our own mortality? Differing philosophical views deepen this reflection. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre affirm that existence precedes essence. Life's meaning is created by individual choices rather than inherent characteristics. In contrast, essentialists might argue that an organism's nature defines its existence. If the immortal jellyfish can transform and adapt infinitely, does it challenge or reinforce these philosophical viewpoints? Modern society grapples with similar themes. Our quest for rejuvenation shines through innovations in science, technology, and even wellness culture. In a world obsessed with longevity and perfection, do we find ourselves at odds with nature? The hope for prolonged life through advancements echoes the jellyfish's ceaseless regeneration. However, this pursuit of immortality raises ethical concerns. What implications arise as we blur the lines between natural and unnatural lifespans? The philosophical dilemma expands into a discussion about identity. If the immortal jellyfish can continuously reshape itself, what does that say about our own identities, which we often consider fixed or unchangeable? Could we, too, embrace transformation while maintaining the essence of who we are? Our struggles with identity in the face of modernity, rapid change, social media, and evolving self-expressions echo the jellyfish's fluid state. As we contemplate the implications of the immortal jellyfish's double DNA, we are invited to ponder broader questions. Do we find meaning in our struggles against mortality, or is there an inherent value in our transient existence? Perhaps in embracing both life and death, transformation and permanence, we may discover a deeper understanding of human experience. Perhaps the immortal jellyfish reminds us to reflect on the significance of our surrender to the inevitable cycle of life, death, and rebirth, not as an end, but as part of a greater continuum. What does it mean to truly live, and how shall we navigate the delicate dance of existence, knowing that even nature holds secrets beyond our comprehension? Ultimately, the journey of understanding the animal that has double the DNA invites us to explore our perceptions and reconsider what it means to be alive. The answers may elude us, but the questions enrich our quest for meaning. The soundless commotion of seas. Imagine standing on the shore, where the waves gently kiss the sand, their rhythmic dance both soothing and compelling. As you close your eyes, you can hear the muffled roar of the ocean, a sound that resonates deep within the soul. But amidst this auditory beauty lies a paradox. The tumult of the seas produces no sound, only the silent commotion of energy and power beneath the surface. What does it mean to experience something so grand yet unrecognizable, something that exists in both chaos and tranquility? This quiet yet profound phenomenon invites us into a philosophical inquiry about perception and reality. René Descartes once famously claimed, "Cogito ergo sum," I think, therefore I am, suggesting that our very existence is grounded in our ability to think and perceive. Yet what if perception is merely a thin veil that obscures the deeper, chaotic realities of our existence? Does it suffice to understand our world if we limit ourselves to what we can perceive, ignoring the unseen turmoil beneath? Philosophers like Immanuel Kant have posited that our understanding of the world is filtered through our senses, leading us to question whether we ever truly grasp the essence of nature. If the ocean's power exists beyond our auditory perceptions, what truths remain unavailable to us? Perhaps like the deep seas, our own lives are laden with unwavering turmoil, emotions and thoughts churning in the depths, while we present a calm facade to the world. In modern times, we often grapple with the chaos of our daily existence, the unrelenting pace of life, the relentless demands of technology, and an ever-looming sense of anxiety. Much like the ocean's undercurrents, our inner realities can become turbulent, shadowed from others' perception. Just as the sea can be still and yet tumultuous beneath its surface, we too can appear calm while our thoughts and feelings swirl in a silent commotion. Moreover, as we navigate through this tumult, we must confront an essential question. Is our existence defined by these tumultuous experiences? Existentialist philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre argue that our choices constitute our very essence, while another perspective, rooted in Stoicism, suggests that it is not the chaos that defines us, but our responses to it. Are we simply the reflections of our external circumstances, or do we have the power to shape our realities, even when swayed by silent forces beyond our control? As we engage in this exploration, we realize that the dilemma of existence is not about finding one absolute truth or a clear answer. It's about embracing the uncomfortable beauty of our lives, the oscillation between chaos and calm, the soundless commotion beneath our perceived reality. Just as the ocean churns silently beneath the waves, so do our innermost struggles and emotions, yearning for acknowledgement and understanding. So we pause here, at the crossroads of perception and reality, leaving space for further contemplation. What lies beneath your own surface? What soundless commotion shapes your existence? In this vast ocean of life, can we reconcile the unseen world within with the tranquil facade we present to others? Perhaps it is within this dissonance that we find the essence of our being, waiting patiently to be unearthed. Let it stir within you, inviting deeper reflection and personal discovery. The Human Biofield. Imagine a serene forest, sunlight filtering through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground. As you walk, you notice something intangible yet powerful surrounding you, a gentle energy that seems to weave through the trees and the very air you breathe. This feeling evokes a question. Could there be a similar energy surrounding every human being, a biofield that connects us to each other and the universe itself? This intriguing notion invites us to ponder the concept of the human biofield, a field of energy that some believe plays a crucial role in our health, emotions, and spirituality. The idea traces back through ancient philosophies, with roots in Eastern healing practices like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, which assert that vital energy, or qi and prana, flows through and around our bodies. Philosophers such as David Bohm and Ervin Laszlo have explored ideas about interconnectedness and the implicate order of the universe, suggesting that all beings share a unified field of consciousness. The biofield, in this context, could represent not just an energetic layer of human existence, but a deeper connection linking us to one another and the cosmos. But what does it mean for us, as thinking beings, to consider our existence as intertwined with the energies around us? From a Western scientific perspective, the human biofield raises fundamental questions about the material and the immaterial. Many physiologists and biomedical researchers remain skeptical. They require empirical evidence, following a strict methodology that scrutinizes phenomena through rationality and skepticism. What does this skepticism reveal about the nature of knowledge and how we perceive the world? Do we need tangible proof to validate experiences that are deeply felt and inherently subjective? This dichotomy between Eastern and Western perspectives evokes the thoughts of philosophers like Immanuel Kant, who spoke of phenomena and noumena, the distinction between things as they appear and things as they truly are. It leads us to question, does the biofield exist as a phenomenon beyond our current understanding, or does it remain a metaphor for our unquantifiable experiences and the mysteries of life? In modern contexts, the concept of the biofield challenges our views on health and healing. Practices such as Reiki, acupuncture, and energy healing draw upon this energy, promoting well-being through a manipulation of the biofield. Skeptics argue that these practices lack scientific basis, while proponents insist on their profound transformative effects on emotion and health. Perhaps these differing views can lead us to reflect not only on the nature of healing, but on how we can integrate physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. As we explore the biofield, we are drawn into the complexity of existence itself, how matter interacts with energy, how individuals connect with each other, and how we align our lives with the rhythms of the universe. We might find ourselves pondering whether the human biofield serves as a bridge between the tangible and the intangible, inviting us to seek balance and connection in our lives. Yet the notion of the biofield inherently leaves us with more questions than answers. If these energies exist, how do we learn to be more in tune with them? Can acknowledging a biofield reshape our understanding of relationships and community? In this delicate dance between belief and skepticism, between the mind and the heart, the exploration of the human biofield beckons us to reflect on our place in the universe. As we ponder these possibilities, let us embrace the mystery, recognizing that the journey toward understanding may illuminate more than a definitive answer ever could. The longevity of deep-sea sponges. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean, gazing into its depths, wondering what mysteries lie beneath the surface. What if I told you that some of the organisms dwelling in this vast expanse could be over 10,000 years old? Among them, deep-sea sponges, seemingly simple in form, challenge our understanding of life, time, and resilience. As we ponder their longevity, we find ourselves confronted with profound philosophical questions about existence, legacy, and the nature of life itself. Deep-sea sponges, ancient beings thriving in the cold, dark depths, embody endurance in a world where change is constant. Their existence invites us to reflect on the relationship between time and value. Are these sponges, with their subdued beauty and slow growth, more significant because they have witnessed epochs of history, absorbing the stories of the ocean? Or does their age provoke feelings of existential dread, reminding us of our own fleeting lives against the backdrop of an eternal natural world? Philosophers like Martin Heidegger explore the idea of being and time, suggesting that our understanding of existence is deeply interconnected with our awareness of mortality. In this light, the lives of deep-sea sponges command our attention not merely as biological phenomena, but as symbols of resilience against entropy. Does their longevity serve as a reminder of humanity's own striving for meaning in a transient world? While sponges continue to filter nutrients for millennia, we rush through our lives seeking achievements, often forgetting that existence itself can be an art of patience, just as it is for these simple creatures. However, contrasting perspectives arise when we consider the impact of time. Friedrich Nietzsche challenged the significance we attribute to life's meaning, emphasizing the idea of eternal recurrence. If we lived our lives repeatedly, what would change? The longevity of deep-sea sponges evokes this question. Would these sponges experience the same satisfaction in their purpose if they existed in a world where their experiences were endlessly repeated? In the modern context, deep-sea sponges remind us of the balance between human progress and environmental preservation. As we exploit the ocean's resources faster than they can replenish, we are left to ponder the consequences of our actions. Can the painstakingly slow growth of these ancient beings teach us about sustainability? Should we respect the rhythms of nature rather than impose our hurried existence upon it? As we contemplate the existence of deep-sea sponges, we arrive at a space where time becomes fluid and existence resonates deeply with our quest for understanding. They are witnesses to centuries gone by, yet their lives unfold in a quiet, steadfast way, reminding us that meaning is often found in simplicity. In closing, we are left with a gentle invitation to reflect. What can the longevity of deep-sea sponges teach us about our own lives? Do we seek significance in the brevity of our moments? Or can we find beauty in the patient unfolding of time? As we continue our exploration of existence, perhaps the greatest lesson lies not in the answers we uncover, but in the contemplative journey itself. The quantum teleportation fact. Imagine a future where you can step into a machine and in a fleeting moment, find yourself instantly transported to a distant world, with all traces of your being perfectly preserved. You would wake up in a new place, perhaps a lush, vibrant planet teeming with unknown life. This raises an intriguing question. If we could teleport ourselves, would we still be the same person that left, or would something fundamental within us change? Quantum teleportation, while it may not involve the physical instantaneity of such sci-fi dreams, is rooted in the remarkable principles of quantum mechanics. It allows particles, such as photons or atoms, to have their quantum states transmitted from one location to another without traversing the intervening space. Yet, a deeper dilemma lurks beneath this scientific marvel. If information can be transferred without the physical object moving, what does that mean for our understanding of identity and consciousness? Philosophers like René Descartes posited that the mind and body are distinctly separate. The mind, the seat of consciousness, exists independently of the physical body. Should we apply this dualism to quantum teleportation? If a person's quantum state, essentially the very essence of who they are, could be teleported while their original body remains behind, would this imply that consciousness too could be disentangled from the physical vessel? Or is our identity intricately woven into the very fabric of the atoms that compose our bodies? However, this also connects to materialist perspectives, as advanced by philosophers like Daniel Dennett, who argue that consciousness arises from physical processes. From this viewpoint, if every atom is replaced in a teleportation scenario, maybe the self is lost entirely, akin to a ship of Theseus dilemma. If we replace parts of a ship and eventually replace every part, is it still the same ship? Thus, the question extends, if every atom of our being could be copied and transmitted, would we be reborn in the new location, or would we simply cease to exist? Moreover, consider the implications of such technology in our modern context. In an era where personal identity and data privacy are critical, the idea of replicating someone's entire being raises profound ethical concerns. Would the copy of you have the same rights as the original? If the original instance of consciousness fades while the replica thrives, does our legal and moral framework stand prepared to tackle the consequences? As we ponder these questions, we find ourselves enveloped in a web of uncertainty. Perhaps the crux of the issue lies in our definition of self. Are we merely what our particles constitute? Or is there something unquantifiable and mystical about our consciousness that resists any form of replication? What if, in the grand scheme of existence, teleportation reveals not just a marvel of quantum mechanics, but a deeper inquiry into the nature of who we are? The quantum teleportation fact invites us to reflect on identity, consciousness, and the potential realities that lie beyond our current understanding. As we embark on this journey of thought, we may discover that the most profound questions often lead us back to ourselves. What remains after all is said and done is not merely the information transmitted, but the essence of our shared human experience, forever shrouded in mystery and wonder. The distant pulsar timing. Imagine a distant pulsar, an ancient star spinning rapidly in the depths of space, sending beams of light racing across the cosmos. Each pulse is a heartbeat, a rhythmic signal that echoes the vastness of time and space, a lighthouse in a dark, vast ocean. Now consider this. What if we could use these distant signals to understand not just the universe around us, but the very fabric of reality itself? How does our perception of time change when we contemplate distant cosmic events? And what does this mean for our understanding of existence and our place within it? This contemplation leads us into the philosophical labyrinth of time and the nature of reality. Philosophers like Immanuel Kant propose that time is not an objective feature of the universe, but rather a framework of human thought. He suggested that our understanding of time shapes our perception of events, suggesting that the stars may pulse with their own time, independent of our own experiences. If Kant is correct, every pulse we observe is not merely a sign of an event occurring light years away, but an invitation to reflect upon the relationship between our time-bound existence and the infinite cosmos. As we listen to the echoes of distant pulsars, we are reminded of the theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein. It posits that time is malleable, affected by speed and gravity. Consider, then, how the pulsar's rhythmic light could inform us about time dilation. Does this mean that our own sense of time is simply a subjective experience, conditioned by our earthly circumstances? What happens when we realize that a moment for us may stretch or contract in the universe's grand tapestry? In moments of stillness and contemplation, one begins to ponder. When we grasp the cosmos's timelessness, do we invent a new way to experience our own fleeting lives? Yet, in this exploration, we encounter contrasting perspectives. The existentialists, like Jean-Paul Sartre, argue that time is inseparable from human experience, binding it to choice and immediacy. To them, the pulsar's steady rhythm might serve as a reminder of the absurdity of existence, a cosmic clock ticking away while human lives are marked by uncertainty. Each pulse insists on our awareness of life's impermanence. Can we bear the burden of purpose in a universe where time often feels like an enemy rather than a companion? Today, we observe that our modern lives are saturated with temporal concerns as we race through our schedules, constantly checking the time. Pulsars, in stark contrast, remind us to slow down, inviting contemplation. In our age of digital immediacy, we may find that the distant pulses speak not only to cosmic understanding, but to our own frantic existence. Can we not learn from these stellar signals to be present, to pause, and to appreciate the moments, however fleeting, that constitute our lives? As we drift deeper into the allure of these distant celestial bodies, we might ask ourselves, what is the purpose of our attempts to measure time? Is it to gain control over our lives, or is it simply a way to navigate the uncertainties we face? The distant pulsar's timing holds a mirror to our choices, illuminating the dance between the infinite and the temporal. Ultimately, the echoes of distant pulsars resonate with a profound ambiguity, leaving us with more questions than answers. As we ponder the meaning of existence against the backdrop of the cosmos, we are invited to reflect on our own relationship with time. In seeking understanding, perhaps we are not meant to find conclusions, but to embrace the deep, still beauty of uncertainty. The pulsars remind us that as we listen to their distant signals, we too are part of this grand cosmic conversation, a poignant reminder that the exploration of existence continues, pulsing through the corridors of time. The crystal-clear crocodile fish. Imagine an ocean teeming with life, where creatures dance in the sunlight filtering through the waves, and colors swirl in a mesmerizing display. Now picture a fish, an adult crocodile fish to be precise, with an astonishing ability. Its body, nearly transparent, becomes crystal clear in the depths. As it glides through the water, it seems to vanish, perfectly camouflaged among its environment. It is not only a master of disguise, but a creature that provokes reflection on existence, perception, and the nature of reality itself. This is the dilemma of the crystal-clear crocodile fish. Metaphorically speaking, the fish represents the fine line between what is and what appears to be. Is its transparency a gift of survival or a loss of identity? Philosophically, we are confronted with the question, does existence precede essence, or is there a deeper meaning within our perceptions? According to Jean-Paul Sartre, existence precedes essence, suggesting that individuals define themselves through choices and actions. Like the crocodile fish, our identities can be obscured by societal expectations, and we often feel transparent, invisible in a world that sees us only through preconceived notions. From another perspective, Plato's allegory of the cave reminds us that we may be prisoners of our own limited perceptions, believing in shadows cast upon the wall instead of the vibrant colors of reality. How often do we assume those shadows represent the truth? In our modern world, this dilemma resonates even more deeply. With social media, we curate our identities, presenting polished versions of ourselves that are often distorted reflections of reality. Much like the crystal-clear crocodile fish, we may appear uncomplicated and serene while battling our complexities beneath the surface. The question arises, are we more true to ourselves when we embrace our vulnerabilities or when we cloak our imperfections beneath layers of perception? This dilemma also reminds us of the concept of the veil of ignorance, introduced by philosopher John Rawls. By imagining a society where we do not know our place or status, we realize that we might prioritize a fairer, more equitable world if we understand that we could occupy any role. Just as the crocodile fish adapts to its environment, could we benefit from shedding the transparent layers to acknowledge and address the inequalities around us? Yet, in peeling away our layers, as the fish reveals its true self, we must confront an unsettling truth. Our essence can be fragile. What if the reality beneath is murky, fraught with insecurities and fears? How do we navigate a world that often rewards superficiality over authenticity? Perhaps, in this age of connectivity and disconnection, we must ponder whether living with transparency, the courage to expose our true selves, is worth the risk of vulnerability. As we drift through these thoughts, consider this. Like the crystal-clear crocodile fish, we navigate the currents of our lives, caught between survival and self-revelation. The depths of reality may be murky, but the clarity we seek does not necessarily lie in the absence of layers. Instead, it may be found in understanding, acceptance, and continuous exploration of both ourselves and the world. As we close this chapter of reflection, invite yourself to ponder, what truths do you dare to reveal, and what shadows will linger just beneath the surface? The water is calm, yet the depths are waiting to be explored. The singing sand dunes phenomenon. Imagine standing on the crest of an endless desert, the sun dipping below the horizon in a blaze of orange and pink. As you take a step forward, the sands beneath your feet emit a soft, enchanting sound, a deep, resonant hum that vibrates through the air. You are experiencing the singing sand dunes, a natural phenomenon where dunes, under specific conditions, produce melodious sounds as grains of sand shift and move. But this magical experience invites a deeper question. What does it mean when nature sings? This phenomenon raises philosophical inquiries about the nature of sound and silence and what we perceive as beauty. Plato once argued that beauty exists in the realm of forms, an ideal state beyond our tangible existence. In this context, the Song of the Dunes could be seen as a reflection of the beauty that transcends our understanding, challenging us to consider how such natural occurrences resonate within our very souls. As we listen to the dunes hum, do we encounter a moment of connection with something greater than ourselves? Or is it merely an example of nature functioning according to physical laws? Contrastingly, Friedrich Nietzsche might argue that the music of the dunes illustrates the chaotic essence of existence, wherein beauty arises from disorder and struggle. The dunes' song is not composed by a wise hand, but emerges spontaneously from the interplay of grains, wind, and time. In that sense, the singing sand dunes remind us of life's unpredictability, evoking awe amidst chaos. Yet as we relish in this unbidden melody, are we confronting or escaping from the existential dilemmas of our own lives? Modern-day interpretations of this phenomenon can be seen through our relationship with nature. As urban life increasingly distances us from such experiences, we may find ourselves yearning for authentic connections. We often seek solace in fragmented moments of beauty, whether through art, music, or nature's offerings. The Song of the Dunes can serve as a metaphor, a reminder that beauty exists even in the most unexpected places, urging us to embrace the tenderness of existence amid our busy lives. Furthermore, the singing sand dunes challenge our understanding of silence. When we think of silence, we often perceive it as emptiness, a lack of sound. But could it instead represent a canvas upon which diverse sounds, like the singing dunes, can emerge? Perhaps silence is not simply absence, but rather potential, awaiting the moment when nature or our own actions decide to fill it. This playful tension between sound and silence invites contemplation about how we engage with the world around us. Are we mindful of the sounds that weave through our lives, or do we rush past, too consumed by the noise of modernity? As this meditative journey through the singing sand dunes concludes, consider the multitude of ways nature speaks to us. Through the gentle humming of the dunes, we are reminded of the beauty that exists in the world, an invitation to pause, to reflect, and to embrace both sound and silence. What else might nature be trying to tell us? In the stillness of the night, when all seems quiet, we can wonder, are we truly listening? The dunes sing, but only if we allow ourselves to hear. The literal tree of life in Bahrain. Imagine wandering through a vast desert under a relentless sun, and amidst the arid landscape, you come across an isolated tree standing tall and vibrant. Its roots dive deep into the earth, while its branches stretch wide, adorned with lush green leaves. This is the tree of life in Bahrain, an evergreen marvel surrounded by endless sands. What makes this tree so extraordinary is not just its survival against the odds, but its profound symbolic resonance. Contemplating this tree brings forth an intriguing philosophical dilemma about life, resilience, and interconnectedness. At first glance, the tree of life appears almost mythical, drawing visitors who seek to understand its story. Is this tree a mere biological anomaly, or does it symbolize something deeper? Consider the philosophical thoughts of figures like Aristotle, who saw life as an interconnected essence, a tapestry of existence, woven through time and nature. Here, we face the dilemma of contrasting perspectives. Is this tree an emblem of nature's perseverance, or merely a random occurrence in a harsh environment? On one hand, we can embrace the view that the tree of life represents resilience. It survives where many other forms of life cannot, a metaphor for human tenacity in the face of adversity. Friedrich Nietzsche once suggested that suffering leads to growth. One might reflect that this tree, thriving amidst hardship, embodies the struggle for survival. Thus, it invites us to ponder, in life, are we like this tree, finding beauty and purpose despite the challenges we encounter? On the other hand, we confront a competing narrative that challenges this glorification of resilience. The philosopher Albert Camus famously spoke of the absurdity of existence, suggesting that life's inherent chaos can lead to despair. From this lens, the tree of life may also represent the randomness of the universe, its stunning presence a mere act of chance rather than a beacon of hope. It may evoke questions of purpose and significance, leading us to ask, does the mere act of surviving grant meaning, or are we left adrift in an indifferent world? We might also consider how the tree of life connects us to broader ecological systems. Just as roots anchor it deep in the soil, so too do our lives interlace within communities. Perhaps the story of this tree serves as a reminder of our collective responsibilities toward nature and one another. The environmental challenges we face today force us to recognize that our own actions reflect our interconnectedness with the world. The delicate balance of ecosystems mirrors our survival. What happens to the individual ripple effects through the collective. As we reflect on the tree of life in Bahrain, we find it holds layered meanings, incorporating philosophy, ecology, and human experience. It inspires us to contemplate our own resilience and the sense of interconnectedness that we share. Much like the tree, each of us contributes to this intricate web of existence. We might be prompted to consider, does our strength lie simply in our ability to endure, or does it flourish through our relationships and interactions with the world around us? Thus, we conclude our exploration of this literal tree of life, leaving with more questions than answers. In the end, the tree stands as a gentle reminder of life's complexities, urging us to engage with our unique narratives while facing the shared uncertainties of our existence. The journey of comprehension might be unending, yet it is within the asking and the quest for connection that we may discover our deepest truths. The zebrafish's regenerative abilities. Imagine a world where loss is merely a prelude to renewal. A small creature, the zebrafish, possesses an extraordinary gift, the ability to regenerate lost fins, heart tissues, and even parts of its central nervous system. This enchanting capability begs a profound question. What does it mean to heal, to lose, and to regenerate? As we delve into the nature of these regenerative abilities, we find ourselves intertwined with deeper philosophical dilemmas about identity, existence, and the human condition. While the zebrafish can regrow a portion of its heart after an injury, we, as humans, experience loss in far different ways. When we encounter the loss of a loved one, a dream, or even a part of ourselves, we are left grappling with a kind of anguish that defies simple recovery. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche mused about the concept of becoming who one is, echoing a resounding truth. Our identities are shaped through our suffering and loss. In stark contrast, the zebrafish emerges unscathed from the tragedies of existence, a reminder, perhaps, of the resilience nature has imbued within certain creatures. But does that resilience speak to a potentiality within us too? The regenerative prowess of zebrafish raises questions for both science and our understanding of life itself. Can the medical advancements derived from studying these tiny fish lead us toward healing practices that transcend current limitations? Stem cell research is but one area taking cues from this aquatic marvel, alluding to prospects of healing in human medicine. Just as Aristotle once argued, we are what we repeatedly do, we may find in the zebrafish a guidepost for human capability, a challenge to push the boundaries of recovery and renew our self-conception. Yet, beneath this allure of regeneration lies a philosophical quandary. If we could regenerate as zebrafish do, how would it alter our perception of loss? Would the act of healing diminish the significance of the sacrifices we endure, or would it empower us? Epicurus posited that the fear of death is rooted in humanity's inability to reconcile its existence with the inevitability of loss. If loss can be erased, would our attachment to moments, experiences, and connections wane, or could they, in some way, deepen? In the modern world, the yearning for regeneration is not confined to physical healing. People strive to recover from emotional wounds, to heal through therapy, or even to reinvent themselves. In many ways, we aspire for our own form of regeneration, a continuous becoming rather than a fixed state of being. Is there then an inherent wisdom in recognizing that our identity is shaped by the memories of our experiences, including those of grief and recovery? As we reflect on the regenerative abilities of the zebrafish, we find ourselves drawn into a contemplative space where questions surge and linger. How can we embrace our own vulnerability in the face of loss while still aspiring for growth? Suppose regeneration were found not just in the realm of biology, but also in our emotional journeys. In what ways might we learn to heal and to emerge anew, much like the zebrafish, without forgetting the essence of who we are? Allow this inquiry to echo in your thoughts, for the answers are neither clear-cut nor assured. Instead, consider that within the flow of regeneration lies profound beauty, a reminder that life, like the currents of the water, is forever in motion, shaped by the experiences of loss and the hope of renewal. The pulsing Aurorae on Jupiter. Imagine standing on the edge of a breathtaking alien landscape, gazing toward a swirling spectacle in the sky. Above you, the vibrant Aurorae of Jupiter dance and pulse in hues of emerald green and violet, illuminating the darkness with an otherworldly glow. These immense, shimmering curtains of light are not merely beautiful phenomena. They embody a deeper philosophical question about existence and perspective. What does it mean for something to be remarkable yet incomprehensible, majestic yet distant? The pulsating aurorae on Jupiter are caused by the planet's magnetic field interacting with charged particles from the solar wind, creating a grand display far more intense than we experience on Earth. This cosmic ballet leads us to question our understanding of beauty, existence, and our place in the universe. Consider the views of philosophers like Immanuel Kant, who propose that beauty lies in our perception. The aurorae might be a reminder that the universe displays its beauty in forms we cannot entirely grasp, challenging us to appreciate the unknown. Contrast this with existentialist thoughts, particularly those of Jean-Paul Sartre, who suggested that existence precedes essence. Here we find a profound tension. On one hand, we are spectators to the cosmic beauty of Jupiter. On the other, we are seekers of meaning in our own experiences. The aurorae may be stunning, but their display prompts us to ask whether beauty exists solely for us to admire, or if it has intrinsic value in a vast, indifferent universe. The pulsating lights of Jupiter don't just remind us of the profound and mesmerizing forces of nature. They provoke deeper inquiries about our nature as observers. Do these celestial occurrences possess meaning beyond their mere observation? If so, what significance can we draw from a phenomenon that feels so remote from our daily lives? The work of philosophers like Martin Heidegger suggests that we might find meaning in our relationship with such awe-inspiring elements of nature. Yet, does some understanding bring us closer to Jupiter, or does it create further distance, reminding us of our inherent isolation? In today's world, characterized by rapid advancements in technology and exploration, we find ourselves confronted with the vastness of the universe. The auroras of Jupiter may serve as a metaphor for our journey through life, an ongoing search for understanding amid the chaotic interplay of forces that shape our existence. The light shows could compel us to reflect on what it means to seek beauty and truth, even when they lie beyond our immediate grasp. As we contemplate the pulsing aurorae on Jupiter, we must ask, is our eternity spent admiring such cosmic phenomena futile, or does it bring us closer to the essence of life itself? Perhaps the true value lies not in finding definitive answers, but rather in embracing the questions and uncertainties they raise. What we may ultimately discover within these celestial wonders is not just a reflection of our world, but an invitation to explore the depths of our own humanity, standing together beneath a sky bursting with ethereal light. Forever engaged in this magnificent and mysterious dialogue between existence and understanding. The space-time warp disk blueprint. Imagine a disk, seemingly ordinary, yet it possesses the potential to stretch the very fabric of reality itself. This isn't merely a tale spun from science fiction, but a philosophical inquiry into what it might mean to manipulate space and time. If we could design such a disk, would it grant us not just the ability to traverse distances in the cosmos, but also rewrite our very understanding of existence? The space-time warp disk invites us to reflect on profound questions. What is the nature of time? Is it linear? Or could we experience it as a vast tapestry, where past, present, and future coexist? Einstein's theory of relativity suggests that time is not a constant. Rather, it stretches and contracts, influenced by gravity and speed. But if we possess the means to warp time, do we also gain responsibility over it? Consider two contrasting perspectives. The determinists, like Laplace, who believe every event is predestined by preceding occurrences. In their worldview, a warp disk may present an even darker reality. Would our perceived ability to change the past merely be an illusion, as every choice still leads us back to a preordained end? Or, as the existentialists such as Sartre might argue, would such a device empower our freedom? We could craft our trajectories, turning mistakes into lessons or tragedies into blessings. Yet with great power comes great ethical considerations. If humanity unlocks the capacity to traverse and alter timelines, who governs this profound ability? Would we, in our quest for knowledge, risk creating alternate realities where suffering persists, or worse, amplify it through our selfish manipulations? The philosopher George Berkeley famously posited that existence is tied to perception. If we were to shift timelines, what ensures that the reality we create serves the greater good? Now, let us consider the personal implications. Imagine a chance to revisit lost moments. A loved one who has passed, a decision you regret, or a missed opportunity? Would we alter our choices, or would wisdom teach us to accept and integrate our experiences into the fabric of our character? As Nietzsche implied, embracing suffering instills strength and affirmation of life itself. Would we forsake our growth for the sake of fleeting comfort? As we ponder the blueprint for this space-time warp disk, we realize it is not merely a technological marvel, but a reflection of our deepest yearnings and fears. In our desires to manipulate time, we must also confront our responsibility. Can humanity handle the weight of such power without succumbing to hubris? As we round off this journey through time and possibility, we are left with more questions than answers. Could we build a better world by reshaping our past? Or would we find ourselves ensnared in the complexities of causality? The space-time warp disk serves as a mirror, reflecting our hopes, our regrets, and the fundamental nature of what it means to exist. In our quest for understanding, what path will we choose? The journey of reflection remains ours to embark upon. The ghost particle, whose origin was found. Imagine standing in a room filled with the hum of scientific machinery, where researchers painstakingly sift through data that could unveil some of the universe's deepest mysteries. Among them is a sensational discovery, the origin of a particle so elusive that it has earned the label ghost. This particle, a neutrino, travels through space and matter almost unnoticed, defying our expectations of existence. Yet, what if these seemingly insubstantial particles hold key insights into questions of reality, existence, and even consciousness itself? The neutrino, an expression of nature so lightly interacting with the physical world, challenges our understanding of being and non-being. It brings to mind the philosophical inquiries of Martin Heidegger, who spoke of the nature of being and things that are. If even the specter of a particle can enlighten us about the cosmos, what does it mean for our own existence? Are we not also ghost-like in our fleeting experiences, passing through the material world, yet leaving behind traces of our consciousness and thought? Alternatively, we could consider the perspective of David Hume, who posited that our knowledge arises from experiences and perceptions. Can we then fully rely on scientific endeavors to encapsulate the essence of such particles? The neutrino, barely detectable, yet fundamentally impactful, beckons us to question the very fabric of our reality. Just as Hume doubted that we could know the true nature of causality, can we fully grasp the implications of a particle that exists as both a physical entity and an abstraction? In a world ignited by technological advancement, such discussions find resonance beyond the confines of academia. Climate change, for example, is a creeping catastrophe felt most tangibly through the air we breathe, yet deeply entangled with unseen forces. Like the ghostly neutrinos that permeate the universe, those everyday uncertainties, pollution, natural disasters, challenge us to approach our reality with a reflective and philosophical lens. If we can accept the presence of these ghost particles in our scientific realm, should we not also allow ourselves to acknowledge the hidden complexities underlying our global crises? Moreover, one cannot help but consider the metaphysical implications. If neutrinos can traverse the cosmos unscathed, how might our thoughts traverse through time and memory? Do we, too, exist in a realm that connects us to every moment and person we've encountered, transcending our physical presence? The philosophical musings of Henry Bergson resonate here. He pointed towards the continuity of experience, suggesting that time is not a distinct series of moments, but rather a flowing reality. How astonishing it is that particles, those almost ungraspable entities, could be analogues for the ungraspable quality of our consciousness and existence. As we continue to uncover the mysteries hidden in the universe, from the ghost particles that weave through the fabric of reality to our own whispers of existence in time. The questions we ponder remain both profound and elusive. Can the understanding of such particles guide humanity toward deeper connections with the cosmos, or must we accept the inherent limitations of our knowledge? The journey into this enigmatic realm invites us to reflect on the delicate interplay between knowledge, existence, and the underlying questions that weave through the fabric of everything we know. The inquiry leads us outward and yet always circles back within, urging us to remain open to the mysteries that will unceasingly surround us. The chirping water tides. Picture yourself standing by a serene shoreline, where soft waves dance gently against the sand, producing a rhythm that calms the mind. In the distance, you hear a chorus, delicate chirps harmonizing with the symphony of the tides. A question drifts into your consciousness. If nature can communicate through sound, what does it mean for us to listen? And more fundamentally, what does it mean to connect with the world around us? This is the essence of the chirping water tides, a philosophical exploration into the nature of perception, interconnection, and the essence of existence itself. The delicate balance of the ebb and flow, just like the chirping of unseen creatures, invites us to ponder our relationship with nature, and by extension, ourselves. The philosopher Martin Buber spoke of the I-thou relationship, emphasizing the depth of connection in human interactions. In the same way, the water and its sounds can pose an I-it relationship, a perspective through which we view nature as merely an object to be observed. When we listen, however, we might shift into that profound I-thou experience, recognizing the water, the chirping, and the very earth as participants in a shared existence. Could it be that to truly hear the tides is to awaken an understanding of interconnectedness, where every drop of water and every fleeting note of chirping holds significance? Yet, this prompts another question. In an age dominated by technology, have we lost the ability to listen? The philosopher Henry David Thoreau cherished nature as a source of wisdom, urging us to observe with intention. Today, amidst our digital distractions, the invitation to engage with the natural world is often overlooked. Can we heed Thoreau's call and silence the noise around us, to embrace the lessons offered by the chirping tides? In contrast, the existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre posited that our existence precedes essence. In this view, nature has no intrinsic meaning beyond what we attribute to it. The chirps and tides could simply represent biological stimuli, body signals toward life and survival. Yet, does that diminish their beauty? If we perceive the chirping as an aesthetic experience interwoven with our existence, don't we elevate those moments into realms of personal significance? Connecting with the natural world can evoke feelings of appreciation, mystery, and even reverence. But what do those emotions signify in our lives? Could it be that they are vital reminders of our place in a larger cosmos? Or are they temporary distractions from human-made chaos? As you hear the soothing chirps and see the waves cresting into one another, consider their implications on your own journey. As we navigate these philosophical waters, we realize the true dilemma lies not in finding answers, but in embracing the nuances within our thoughts and feelings. How we choose to interact with the chirping tides speaks volumes about our values, beliefs, and connection to the world. Let us leave this inquiry open-ended. The next time you stand by the shoreline, take a moment to close your eyes and listen. What messages does the chirping convey? What thoughts emerge from the tides? The responses, perhaps, hold greater meaning than we can ever articulate. A gentle reminder of our shared journey through existence, eternally echoing within the rhythms of nature. The slug that can lose its head and regrow. Imagine for a moment a creature so resilient that it can survive what seems to be an insurmountable loss. A slug, a simple being, can shed its head and regenerate another, continuing its existence as if nothing significant had occurred. This remarkable ability raises an intriguing question. What does it mean to lose a part of oneself, and how does one redefine identity in the face of such transformation? The slug's regenerative capability invites us to ponder the nature of identity and continuity. How integral are our physical bodies to our sense of self? The philosopher John Locke argued that personal identity is founded on consciousness rather than the physical body. This perspective suggests that as long as our consciousness remains, we are the same individual, regardless of our physical changes. If a slug can discard and regenerate its head, is it still the same slug, or does this act signify a profound identity shift, one that compels us to reconsider what constitutes the essence of being? Contrasting with Locke's views are those of the philosopher David Hume, who proposed that the self is but a collection of perceptions and experiences rather than a stable entity. In this light, the slug, with its head lost and regrown, could be viewed as continuously evolving, reflecting the fluidity of identity that Hume espoused. Each experience, each growth process represents a new chapter, not necessarily diminishing the slug's essence, but enhancing its existence. In our modern world, we grapple with similar dilemmas regarding loss and regeneration in our own lives. Through experiences such as illness, major life decisions, or traumatic events that significantly alter our trajectories. When we endure such transformations, whether voluntary or involuntary, do we emerge as the same person? Countless individuals who overcome adversity report feelings of rebirth and renewal, suggesting that loss can serve as the catalyst for profound growth and transformation. Yet, embracing this fluidity can evoke discomfort. The fear of losing a part of ourselves, be it physical, emotional, or psychological, can lead to an instinctual resistance to change. Are we holding on to our heads, clinging to a static notion of identity? We may fear that shedding aspects of our lives will leave us incomplete or broken, just as the slug might seem vulnerable without its head. Alternatively, consider the numerous paths of creativity and reinvention that arise from loss. Aristotle spoke of the concept of potentiality, the idea that everything contains the possibility of growth and change. With the path of regeneration, much like the slug, lies the opportunity to explore new dimensions of ourselves. What can we become? Who might we find ourselves to be? As we reflect on the slug's unique ability to lose its head and continue on, we are invited to consider our transformative journeys and the ebb and flow of identity. What does it mean, fundamentally, to grow and to change? Perhaps in recognizing these natural cycles of regeneration, we can embrace a more expansive understanding of ourselves, where loss is not the end, but simply a part of the ongoing narrative of life. As you ponder this, reflect on your own experiences. What parts of you might you be ready to shed, and what new pathways might await your discovery? Remember, just as the slug returns to the world anew, so too can we explore the depths of our being, ever ready to embrace the possibilities that arise from loss and regeneration. The Viral Quasi-Crystals. Imagine a world where a delicate balance of order and chaos intertwines, producing materials that defy traditional classification. Picture a substance, a quasi-crystal, shimmering and mesmerizing, its structure unique, possible yet paradoxical. It might seem like a concept reserved for the realms of advanced science. Yet this very notion raises profound philosophical questions about our understanding of reality. What if these quasi-crystals symbolize something deeper, a reflection of our own existence, and the delicate interplay of order in our chaotic lives. Quasi-crystals challenge our perceptions of categorization. Historically, we have viewed the world through binaries, crystals that exhibit regular patterns and disordered materials that do not. However, quasi-crystals exist in a unique space, demonstrating order without repetition. In a sense, they are like our thoughts and experiences, complex, often chaotic, yet still containing threads of meaning woven throughout. Philosophers like Heraclitus, who asserted that change is the only constant, might find a resonant echo here. Our lives, much like quasi-crystals, are compositions of enduring patterns amidst constant flux. This intertwining of order and chaos invokes Aristotle's assertion of the golden mean, steering us toward a path of balance. If we apply this to our understanding of quasi-crystals, we begin to see that they might symbolize a new way of perceiving the world. In our increasingly polarized society, a fascination with categories might render us blind to complexities that exist in between. In what ways could these quasi-crystals encourage us to embrace ambiguity, to find beauty in the nuanced spaces that traditional binaries overlook? Modern technology, often in conflict with our nature, embraces the uniquely ordered structures of quasi-crystals in various applications: optical devices, energy storage, and even medicine. They remind us of how we adapt and innovate, just as humanity evolves in response to new challenges. Are we then like these materials, not fixed in one way, but continually reshaped by the forces around us? Perhaps this is the influence of the existential philosophy proposed by Jean-Paul Sartre, which suggests that in choosing our actions, we assume responsibility for how we navigate our chaotic worlds. However, as we explore further, juxtaposed with the allure of quasi-crystals lies the question of authenticity. Do we, as modern humans, risk becoming synthetic versions of ourselves, mirroring the structures around us instead of expressing our true essence? This dilemma, explored by philosophers like Nietzsche, suggests we might create our own values, determining what it truly means to be authentic amidst external pressures. As we contemplate the viral nature of these quasi-crystals, their ability to surface in many fields and areas of life, consider the potential they hold for interpersonal connections. Is it possible that by recognizing the patterns we create together, we can better acknowledge the beauty in our differences? How can we foster communities that thrive on this complexity without succumbing to division? In reflecting on the viral quasi-crystals, we are inevitably led to question whether our lives mirror their unique construction. Just as they manifest an intricate dance of order and chaos, we too possess the capacity to navigate our existence in a way that celebrates rather than rejects our complexities. Perhaps in understanding these remarkable substances, we can better understand ourselves, a journey towards awareness that invites continued exploration. Ultimately, the questions remain: how will we utilize this understanding, and how might it reshape our reality? The pinking of the seas. Imagine a world where the oceans, usually a vast expanse of deep blue, begin to shimmer with shades of soft pink. Gentle waves lap at the shore, reflecting a sunset hue that mesmerizes the eye. But beneath this enchanting surface lies a profound dilemma. What if this color change signifies not only beauty, but a catastrophic shift in our planet's health? This is the scenario of the pinking of the seas, a thought experiment that prompts us to ask, at what point does our appreciation of nature's aesthetics conflict with our duty to protect it? This dilemma intertwines our desire for beauty with responsibilities that echo across generations. As we sail through philosophical waters, we encounter contrasting perspectives. Anthropocentrism, the belief that human beings are the central concern of existence, often leads us to prioritize our enjoyment of nature above its intrinsic value. Proponents might argue that as long as the pink seas delight our senses and boost tourism, they hold immense value. After all, are we not stewards of this planet meant to enjoy its riches? Conversely, biocentrism invites us to broaden our understanding. Thinkers like Albert Schweitzer emphasize the intrinsic worth of all living beings, suggesting that the oceans, pink or not, possess their own significance that transcends human appreciation. The pink hue might indicate an imbalance in the marine ecosystem, a symbiotic relationship being disrupted. This shift, which could stem from pollution or climate change, raises crucial questions. Are we content to bask in beauty while ignoring its warnings? What price do we pay for visual pleasure? Modern connections deepen this reflection. Environmental crises loom heavy, and scientists warn of coral bleaching, fish population declines, and ocean acidification. The pinking of the seas could metaphorically represent our collective lapse in judgment, a glaring reminder that beauty can sometimes mask peril. As stewards of the earth, does it not become our ethical obligation to stand vigilant against forces harming nature? Yet, as we linger on this dilemma, we must recognize the path of inaction often pursued by societies. A gradual acceptance of environmental degradation in exchange for temporary delight. Herein lies a paradox. Can we appreciate beauty while turning a blind eye to destruction? Can we loftily admire the pink seas as we sail blissfully unaware of the depths of their despair? As we continue to navigate this tranquil yet unsettling sea of thought, we invite you to reflect. What does it mean to cherish nature? Should we solely celebrate its aesthetics, or does true appreciation require us to preserve its integrity? In pondering these questions, we invite you, dear viewer, to consider your own relation to the natural world. Can we find harmony in our quest for beauty while honorably safeguarding the ecosystems that inspire it? The pinking of the seas beckons us to explore the balance between wonder and responsibility, whispering to us that the answers may lie in the depths of our own reflections, a journey that is perhaps just beginning. The light-giving algae of hollows. Imagine a tranquil night, the moon casting a silvery glow over a serene lake, its surface gently rippling. Beneath the water, an otherworldly phenomenon occurs. Thousands of tiny algae, bioluminescent in nature, illuminate the depths with an ethereal blue light, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. They dance in the darkness, casting ripples of light, as if nature itself is engaged in quiet reflection. What if in their glow lies a deeper philosophical inquiry about existence, interconnectedness, and our role within nature? These algae, known as the light-giving algae of the hollows, serve as a metaphor for understanding our lives against the backdrop of the vast cosmos. In their ability to emit light, they challenge our notions of individuality and collective existence. Are we, like these algae, thriving in the darkness, reliant on our interconnectedness for illumination? Philosopher Martin Buber spoke of the I-thou relationship, emphasizing the importance of genuine connections in creating meaning. Could it be that our own light emerges only through our connections with one another? Contrastingly, existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre might argue that our existence is marked by isolation. For Sartre, we are condemned to be free, burdened by choices without an inherent meaning within them. The algae, however, remind us that even within the depths of solitude, light can emerge through shared experiences, illuminating our paths in moments of darkness. Yet let us turn our gaze beyond these organisms, swimming beneath the lake's surface. What does their light represent in our modern world? We live in an age where connectivity is often superficial. Our screens sometimes disconnect us from authentic human experiences. The light of the algae urges us to reflect. How can we cultivate relationships that illuminate our lives, rather than merely flicker briefly? In seeking depth, do we find ourselves not unlike the light-giving algae, creating a collective glow in an often dimly lit world? But what of those unable to forge connections? The natural world exhibits both breathtaking beauty and harsh realities. There are algae that thrive in isolation, illuminating the way for themselves alone. This resonates with Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, the individual who creates their own value in a world devoid of inherent meaning. Are there forms of light that arise from embracing solitude, independent of our relation to others? Consider, too, the ecological implications. The algae are vital, performing a role in the ecosystem that sustains life around them. Their glow is not merely decorative, it signifies a balance within the natural order. In this sense, they serve as a reminder of our own responsibilities within a larger ecological framework. Our lives may also hold significance in the grand tapestry of existence, urging us to act with purpose and consideration. As you ponder the light-giving algae of the hollows, let it become a gentle guide, a reminder of the importance of connection in illuminating our lives and the beauty found in both solitude and togetherness. The questions raised are profound and endless. How do we find light in darkness? What bonds forge our understanding of existence? These inquiries echo into the quiet night, inviting you to reflect on your relationship with others, the world, and ultimately yourself. In this reflective journey, may you find your own light, however it shines, as you navigate the hollows of your being. The alien-like structures found in the Antarctic. Imagine standing on a vast icy expanse where the air is crisp and the landscape stretches endlessly before you. A thick blanket of white covers ancient land, and silence envelops the scene, broken only by the sound of the wind. Suddenly, you come across unusual formations jutting from the ice, their strange shapes and angular designs starkly contrasting with the surrounding serenity. Are they remnants of a long-lost civilization, or perhaps signs of extraterrestrial life? The question looms heavy. What are these alien-like structures in the Antarctic? These enigmatic formations evoke a deep philosophical inquiry about the very nature of existence and the unknown. As we ponder whether these structures are man-made, natural phenomena, or something otherworldly, we are reminded of Immanuel Kant's notion of the noumenon, the idea that reality exists beyond our perception and understanding. If we are to accept the possibility of alien life or advanced civilizations, what does this say about our place in the universe? Consider the perspective of Carl Sagan, who famously posited that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Our human history is filled with mysteries, from ancient artifacts to deep-sea wonders, leading us to question the narratives we construct about our world. The allure of the Antarctic structures beckons us to explore the duality of awe and skepticism, where scientific inquiry meets the fervent imagination. Are we mere observers, tasked with deciphering nature's cryptic messages? Or do we play a role in shaping these narratives with our inquiries? As we explore further, we encounter contrasting views that highlight different paradigms of understanding. On one hand, the structures can be interpreted through a scientific lens, geological formations shaped by millennia of environmental forces. Yet, philosopher Thomas Nagel invites us to contemplate the absurdity of our position in the universe. How can we ever fully grasp something beyond our limited perspective? The Antarctica structures force us to confront the limits of human understanding, prompting an introspection into our desire to assign meaning to the unexplained. In this era of rapid technological progress, as we harness new tools to explore the unknown, the implications of these findings extend beyond mere curiosity. They challenge us to consider the interconnectedness of humanity and the universe. If these structures hold untold secrets or advance our understanding of life, what ethical responsibilities arise in their exploration? Could the pursuit of knowledge itself carry unforeseen consequences? Paralleling the cautionary tales found in the works of philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche, who warned against unchecked ambition in our existential quest. As we stand in this majestic wilderness, the alien-like structures symbolize the profound mysteries that await our understanding. They serve as a reminder that the universe may hold answers far more complex than our current perceptions allow. Perhaps the structures are not merely stones from different worlds, but reflections of our own quest for meaning amidst uncertainty. What do these formations represent? The remnants of an ancient past, the promise of future questions, or the mirror of our own existential inquiries? And as we search for answers, we must remain, as always, open to the boundless possibilities that arise when we embrace the unknown with a sense of wonder and humility. In contemplating these anomalies, let us continue our journey of exploration with hearts and minds wide open, eager to learn, reflect, and discover. The fractal nature of Romanesco broccoli. Imagine standing in a garden, the sun warming your skin, surrounded by rows of vibrant vegetables. Among them, one stands out with its otherworldly shape, a vivid green Romanesco broccoli. Its spiraled florets seem to dance in geometrical harmony, as if nature herself played a masterful symphony of mathematics and art. This mesmerizing vegetable invites a profound question. What does the fractal nature of Romanesco broccoli reveal about our understanding of patterns, existence, and beauty? To explore this, we dive into the philosophical implications of fractals, a term familiar to mathematicians but rich in layered meaning. A fractal is a complex pattern where each part resembles the whole, repeating itself in infinite scales. The Romanesco captures this essence perfectly, a small bud replicating the design of the entire head, echoing the structure on a smaller scale, endlessly repeating. In that reflection, we find metaphysical questions about the nature of reality itself. Take, for instance, the ideas of Immanuel Kant, who argued that our perception of reality is shaped by our own cognitive structures. Does the Romanesco challenge our perception, suggesting that beauty is found not in uniformity, but rather in complexity? The spirals and the delicate points create a visual feast that entices and perplexes, revealing that perhaps what we deem beautiful is rooted in patterns that echo a deeper mathematical truth, permeating the universe. Yet, contrast this with the view of the ancient Greeks, particularly Pythagoras, whose fascination with numbers emphasized a harmonious universe based on order and symmetry. Romanesco's fractal structure, indistinct from chaos, calls into question whether beauty lies strictly within harmony, or whether disruption and complexity also play a significant role in our aesthetic experiences. As we ruminate on the fractal nature of this vegetable, consider its implications for our real-world existence. Every cell in our body mirrors a larger system. Ecosystems echo this fractal composition, reminding us that we are intertwined with the natural world. The patterns we find in Romanesco speak to the underlying truth that just as it grows in fractal beauty, life too unfolds in intricate designs. Each experience reverberates, shaping our understanding of existence. Moreover, the contemplation of fractals resonates with modern existentialism. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir suggested that existence precedes essence, emphasizing the individual's role in creating meaning amidst an often chaotic world. In observing the Romanesco, one is reminded that while we may seek order in our lives, embracing the complex and chaotic aspects can also lead to profound beauty and insight. Ultimately, the Romanesco broccoli invites us to reflect on our perceptions of beauty, nature, and existence. Do we shy away from complexity in our quest for simplicity? What lessons might we learn from the spiraling patterns of this vegetable? It beckons us not just to appreciate the aesthetic marvel of a frugal green vegetable, but to ponder the very fabric of reality, woven into spirals of mathematics and philosophy, leaving room for contemplation in the face of life's grand mysteries. So, as you gaze upon Romanesco broccoli next time, let its fractal intricacies inspire further questions. What else lies beneath the surface of our everyday encounters? Where else can we find patterns that defy conventional understanding? The journey through these reflections may encourage us to discover a deeper appreciation for the beauty present within the complexities of life itself, a delicate balance where every layer matters. The eternally flaming mountains. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, radiant landscape. Before you rise the eternally flaming mountains, their peaks aflame with a vibrant, unquenchable fire. This fire is not a mere spectacle. It symbolizes struggles, passions, and the fervor of existence itself. As you gaze upon this awe-inspiring sight, you might wonder, what does it mean to live amidst a perpetual blaze? Can one find beauty within the very thing that seems destructive? The metaphor of the flaming mountains compels us to delve into deep philosophical inquiries about desire, suffering, and the essence of human experience. On one level, these mountains represent the insatiable human urge for ambition, love, and fulfillment. Thinkers like Friedrich Nietzsche often spoke of the will to power, the drive that propels individuals to achieve greatness against all odds. In this view, the flames are the fuel of our existence, igniting our will to strive, to create, and to overcome. Yet there lies a contrasting perspective, encapsulated by the gentle teachings of Buddhism. Here, flames signify attachment and craving, the very sources of suffering in life. The flames of desire can lead to painful consequences as we chase after ephemeral joys, only to find ourselves ensnared in cycles of disappointment. Perhaps the flaming mountains invite us to consider whether it is truly possible to transcend these flames, to cultivate a state of inner peace amid the upheaval. In our modern world, the struggle between ambition and contentment plays out on many fronts. Social media bombards us with images of success and wealth, igniting the fires of comparison and envy. Yet, amidst this cacophony, there are voices that remind us of the importance of mindfulness, compassion, and self-acceptance. Can we navigate this landscape of flaming mountains without succumbing to the inferno of discontent? The philosophical tension between these perspectives is palpable. Should we embrace ambition and allow the flames to fuel our growth? Or should we seek to quell the fires that threaten to consume us? Aristotle's concept of the golden mean encourages a balance, valuing ambition while recognizing the necessity of moderation. If we are to stand before the flaming mountains, can we learn to be both passionate and peaceful? As we reflect upon the lessons of the flaming mountains, we find that our own struggles mirror their fiery peaks. Each of us grapples with desires that burn brightly within, often leading to both fulfillment and pain. The mountains remind us of the paradox of existence. The beauty and intensity of life often coexist with suffering. Perhaps the most profound question remains: how do we find meaning in a world that is at times ablaze with conflict and desire? The journey into the heart of these flames invites us to explore our relationship with life, urging us to question our values, find resilience, and seek harmony. As you contemplate the eternally flaming mountains, allow yourself to linger in the uncertainty of the flames. Embrace the quiet, gentle tug of introspection, and let your mind wander through the landscape of your thoughts. In this space of reflection, may you uncover your own truths, allowing the flames to guide you rather than define you. A delicate balance between struggle and serenity, passion and calm. And perhaps, as you gaze upon those eternal flames, you will find that the journey itself is as important as the destination.